Wait for HasanAbi.
I would have never imagined this much of a fucking crowd at a college campus anywhere in solidarity with the Palestinians. This is what it's about, okay? I did not stop advocating for the cause, and now I don't feel lonely. I don't feel as lonely anymore, and that's because of you guys. I hope that you can continue advocating for the right things.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, fantastic afternoon, fantastic pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is Dawson, our broadcast coming to you live from sunny Croatia. That's right. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because we are in yet another beautiful sunny day in Hrvatistan. I'm live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is... I don't even know what fucking day it is. Today is Tuesday. That's right. It's Newsday, Tuesday, July 2nd. I'm live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is... Dude, look at how jerry-rigged this shit is. It's so fucked. Oh, my God. Today's July the 2nd, ladies and gentlemen. 2 days out from 4th of July, the greatest goddamn birthday. Happy birthday to the motherfucking nation. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I am early. That's right. It's 10:23 in Los Angeles, and I'm actually early. I'm not even. God damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna talk to the microphone from this distance, hoping that it's like still picking up everything that I'm saying. Hopefully it's not going to fuck up a lot. Anyway, I'm a little bit disheveled, folks. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news. And part of the personal news is going to be explaining to you why I'm disheveled. Because you might have noticed this is a different background than the hostage situation that I was in before, right? You were like, oh, Hassan, what's up? Are you in a hostage situation? What's going on? Yeah, that hostage situation was a luxurious hotel that was significantly better than this one. I'm in a current, and I'm not even joking right now. I'm in some fucking random Croatian island because my brother was like, we have to get on the boat. We have to get on the boat. We have to go on a boat and then fucking, go to all the islands. And I was just like, dude, I don't care. Like the water is the same water. It doesn't fucking matter where we go. It literally does not matter where we go. It's the same goddamn water. And he was like, no, we gotta go to the islands. And it's like, all right, whatever. Fuck it. Sure, let's go to the islands. And the problem is like the islands they're islands, they're not exactly super developed. And I knew that I was gonna have an issue, right? I knew that I was gonna have an issue if I got on that motherfucking boat and then got into a random island and like booked a hotel there. So I did. Okay, I did. Also, I saw fucking HasanAbi head out here, which is insane to me. Of course, he wasn't Croatian. He was American. But anyway, where do I fucking begin? Last night I ended the broadcast, get up in the morning, get on a ferry, very exciting stuff. Okay, get on a ferry, very exciting stuff. You know me, I love public transit. In Croatia, they've perfected it. They literally got public transit and on catamarans, which is pretty crazy. Okay, like it's just like you don't expect that because a catamaran is like a yacht, and these motherfuckers are using yachts like a bus. Anyway, so you're so lucky to be able to travel and spend time with your family. I wish I was able to take my family on trips like you do too. Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm able to do that is because I love working. And I wish I could explain that to my family. You know what I mean? It's like, anyway, listen. Someone said, used to live in Croatia. The public transit that goes between the islands off the coast is so robust and competent. It's insane. Yeah, there's like two different lines. There's two different lines that like go between the islands and shit, which is crazy. It's just like a sequence of islands. Like it's not supposed to work, but it does. Like one of the islands that you go to, there's just no chicken. Like for example, because like what are you gonna do? It's a fucking straight up island. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't have chicken on the island. They didn't get any poultry delivered. Anyway, so I get on this ferry, I get on the boat with the fam, and lo and behold, it's the shittiest goddamn day. Okay, it's the shittiest day. Thunderstorms last night. It's like raining the entire morning, raining the entire day. Worst day to get on a boat. Okay, I'm like, here we go. It's all good. I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to get my Elden Ring out of the way, which I did. You know, I fucking 2-tap Margit, not a big deal, right? Here's the ferry. Let me show you guys the ferry. Luxurious, okay? And then this is the boat. Just the weather is so bad, right? It's just so freaking bad. HasanAbi head from Croatia, we exist. Yeah. Anyway, you can't even tell how bad the weather looks there because like you can't tell that it's raining, I guess, but it was raining. Take better pics, bro. Whatever. So anyway, we finally get to this other island. Okay, we finally get to this other island, and it's like, what do we do? I called up ahead of time, and this island has like one like really nice hotel, right? I book it. We call the hotel twice beforehand to be like, here's what the demands are. We need wireless internet, or at least like Ethernet cable. We need steady upload. We need a steady upload. Like it needs to be at least 6 megabits per second, or maybe, you know, higher, right? It demands, like, as in, do you have these availabilities? If not, we're gonna keep looking, right? Like, obviously most people have no fucking clue what any of this shit means. I know that already. This is not my first rodeo, but in this situation, the fucking concierge / like lady who runs this boutique hotel, because it's a fucking island, so most of the hotels are like boutique as hell, just straight up says, oh, 160 megabits down and 80 up. Not even a question. Like I was like, oh Jesus, like oh, never mind, like we're popping. Like we found like a real internet head, you know what I mean? Like that's great. She knows the terminology and everything. Okay, 2 different times we checked. We get it on the fucking island. I get to the hotel. The hotel is like really nice. Really, really nice. I mean, it's incredible. It's a boutique hotel, but it's like really cool, right? It's just a lie. This lady is literally 50 years old. She has never in her life even, like, she doesn't know what an upload rate is. She doesn't know what bandwidth is. She just finessed my ass. And this is an expensive ass hotel too. So I'm like, yo, lady, I'm looking at this right now. I'm like, look at my phone. This is called internet speed test. Okay? This is called internet speed test. By the way, for those of you saying, oh, that's the staff internet speed. No shot, that's the custom internet speed. No, there is no staff internet speed. In Croatia, okay? In Croatia, every place that I've been to, they just don't even have fucking passwords on the internet. It's kind of crazy. It's very different out here, okay? Let me tell you, listen. I fucking took a screenshot of this shit because it was so goddamn bad. Yeah, the upload on this fucking hotel was 1.40, not 140 megabits, 1.40 megabits per second. I was like, lady, what the fuck do you want me to do with this? Are you insane? Now, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't end there. And on top of that, they got a fucking firewall up in this bitch. Okay? I was like, why is there a firewall? Like, I can't even fucking log on to the Twitch servers. Like, what the hell is going on? And then I realized something even more sinister. Okay? Let me tell you what it was. Not only did the firewall render me unable to actually get on OBS and stream, okay? But also on top of that, get this, the firewall blocks out Airbnb, hotels.com, and numerous other fucking websites that are that show competitors. Like, what kind of fucking insanity is this shit, dude? Like, they decided, like, I'm finessing you motherfuckers. Like, we don't want you price checking. We don't want you looking at the website to figure out what the prices are. Okay? Like, chill, lady. fucking calm down. Yeah, it's just like everything is blocked. All these like review sites are blocked and shit. Anyway, I'm annoyed. I'm like, lady, we asked you like 8 times. That's the first question I asked when I came here. Okay? Like, please, you know, destroy this firewall. And also, we got to figure out what this upload rate looks like. So this old lady that's running the boutique hotel's like, hold on, 1 minute. Okay? I get manager. I get IT. She gets the IT on. And she still hasn't gotten my passport at this point, right? Like she hasn't logged me in. She gives me the room key, right? She gives me the room key, but she hasn't like checked me in yet. And I'm just like, and she hasn't fucking swiped because they tried to swipe, but because it's an international purchase, my bank blocked that shit. So they're like, hey, your card has been declined, you know? We got to swipe you again. So I'm right now, I'm sitting fucking pretty. I'm in the clear, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the fucking clear. So I'm like, lady, she's like, okay, I need your passports. I need your passports. I'm like, listen, I'm not giving you this passport until this fucking situation is sorted. Like, I'm not going to check in here if the, you know, I'm not going to check in here if the internet doesn't work. Like, this was a major requirement for us. Like, we asked 3 times. You literally lied to our face, right? So, you know, she's just like, no, I'm gonna check you in. I have to check you in. I have to charge you. If you stay here, you don't stay here, it doesn't matter. I have to charge you. I'm like, you have to charge me? I haven't even sat in the fucking room yet. What do you mean you have to charge me? That's insane. And let me tell you, this shit was expensive, chat. Okay, this was expensive. It was like 500 euros a night. Okay, that's like, yeah, no thanks. Okay, not happening. Get the fuck out of here. All right. So I'm gonna rush. I'm literally like going up to hotel lobbies with internet speed test on my fucking phone, the application, and just hitting internet speed test, go over and over again, trying to fucking figure it out. I'm going to panic. I'm like running around with my fucking laptop in hand. Okay. Cause now I'm like scared. What if there's another fucking firewall? What if all these motherfuckers are doing this like weird rug pull shit? Right. So I'm like trying to fucking literally go on OBS and do a broadband test and shit. Right. I'm trying to go on OBS, do broadband tests in the hotel lobby. Like, that's how invested I am. I fucking ran around the entire goddamn island. I finally found this like 1960s brutalist Soviet Yugoslavia ass fucking resort. And the hotel room, when I first walked in here, this is the hotel room, smelled like straight sausages, bro. And it wasn't just me, okay? The dude that came in, okay? The dude that came into the hotel room goes, oh, like, and I was like, it smells like sausages, right? He's like, yes, it smells like sausage. And I was just like, dude, we got to fix this shit. So he's just spraying around, you know what I mean? He's just going to town, spraying this shit. But honestly, I fucking ran around town with my goddamn laptop, got all the shit out of there, got Marat to tell the woman, like, fuck off, you know what I mean? Because it's just like ridiculous. She's like, no, I'm still going to charge you. It's like, no, you're not. You're fucking not. You better not. I'm declining that shit instantaneously. I'm disputing that shit. She tries to charge me, I'm disputing that shit 100%. Anyway, that's the situation on hand. Okay? That's the situation. That's the amount of dedication and the work that goes into trying to fucking put a goddamn stream together. And as you can see, I had to do this like crazy contraption shit. You can't probably tell, but I had to put this like crazy rig together because the table was like too thick to put the mic stand on it. So I had to do it like this. Does it still smell like sausage? I honestly don't know if it still smells like sausage. Like, I can't, either my nose got used to it or it doesn't smell like sausage any longer. Either or, it doesn't matter. I might just be nose blind. Yeah, like, who knows, right? But how big is the island you're on? She might mobilize the locals and come after you. Bro, every island we go to, by the way, everybody knows each other. It's crazy. There's like 8 people living on these fucking islands, you know? Better not rage quit then. No, I didn't rage quit last night. I had done 6 hours of fucking news and commentary. Give me a goddamn break. And then the internet kept pooping. You can't call that rage quitting. I was going to fucking quit anyway at that point. Anyway, she has a friend who knows the inside of your hotel and recognizes it from the stream and is going to murder you at night. Yo, she can catch these fucking hands, dude. I worked in a hotel here. Most hotels in Croatia have a 100% charging rate if you don't cancel at least 48 hours before arrival. Yeah, that's ridiculous because I fucking booked it the morning. Like, what do you mean? I booked it this morning And also I fucking didn't even cancel it. I wanted to stay there. You know what I mean? It's false advertising. I'm an American, goddammit. Anyway, it was pretty wild because she straight up was like, she just straight up lied in like the funniest way possible, in my opinion. I'm just like picturing this 50-year-old woman being like 140 down, 80 up. Psh, what you mean? Like, we got steady broadband up in this bitch. Are you crazy? And then we show up and she's like, yeah, I was just saying some numbers. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is, dummy. Like, and I guess like for them, I guess like, you know, she's just like, what are you gonna do? Go to another island, dumbass, right? Like, she's right. She doesn't know what kind of a fucking freak I am though. Okay? She probably didn't think I'd be running around the goddamn island going to every fucking hotel room, you know? Running around I was like literally checking multiple fucking rooms in hotels, like trying to see if she can't match my freak. That's what I'm saying. I was fucking speed testing left and right. I was going crazy mode, dude. Anyway, she doesn't know that I'm insane. Exactly. She thought I'm just like, you know, I'm just some fucking dumb American tourist, probably has to do business calls or whatever. Fuck them, right? Oh, like you get a fucking vacation today. It's like, nope, not for me. I got like 30,000 fucking managers, dude. They're up my asshole every goddamn day. No shot. You inspired this dude? What is this? That's my goat. This is what 2 years of being a HasanAbi head will do to your body. Down to my lowest weight since college. I'm so excited to see myself in 6 more months. Thanks for motivating me. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Hell yeah. Keep up the good work, brother. Anyway. Yeah, you're late for work? No, I'm fucking early for work. Shut up. Anyway, tomorrow I won't have these issues. I'll be back to my regular setup at the other hotel. Oh shit. We got drama? You fire off a tweet? No, not yet. What, can you explain this ball meme?
It ain't our ball.
I mean, I don't know what it is. Joe Biden. How are you still not back in America? Is America Pride Day today, brother? Are you coming or not? No, I'm not here for America Pride Day. I escaped America, dude. Are you kidding me? America's done. America's fucking dead, dude. America is super done. Also, I saw this cute ass cat, by the way, so that was pretty cool. Look at how good she's posing. Yeah, I heard about the SCOTUS news. I heard that, like, did you squash the beef? With who? Oh, I squashed the beef with my cat beef? Yeah. Just with this cat though. No one else. No other fucking cats. Anyway, did you see Pelosi give credence to the Biden competency question? Things are going on behind closed doors. Not really. People don't really have pet cats there. They just roam around. Yeah, it's very turkey coded. I mean, turkey people have pet cats, but like cats also just roam around. Anyway, but yeah, that's what's up. That's what we're doing. Austin Dem Rep Lloyd Dodgett calls on Biden to withdraw. Yeah, who the fuck is Lloyd Dodgett, bro? Get out of here. Oh, Pelosi had a new take where she sounds less confident in Brandon. Whoa. That's kind of crazy. Okay, things might be moving. Never mind. Lloyd Dodgett, my goat. My bad, dude. I apologize. I was unfamiliar with your game, Lloyd Dodgett, whatever the fuck your name is. Never heard of you, but Nancy Pelosi's out here being like, I don't know. We need to look back at this Biden situation with different lenses. Then that's a whole different ball game, baby. Anyway, but yeah. I've just like personal news wise, beyond the fact that like, you know, I had a fucking family day, but like, well, what? Jake Tapper deleted half of those tweets in that Twitter thread, by the way. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But anyway, let me blast off real quick. Are the Dem holdouts turning on Brandon and demanding he drop? What comes next? I miss Kaya. Okay, that meme is good. I'm gonna use that one. Pelosi says something like it's a valid question to ask if this is an every night occurrence or once. Yo, what the fuck? Are the Dem holdouts turning on Brandon demanding he drop? What comes next? Clyburn. Go back on previous defense of Biden. Trump hush money trial pushed back ? And so much more. Live from a random Croatian island. Get in now. Yo, I swear to God, the Croatian islands and shit, and like even Dubrovnik is like made me feel as though this is like not a properly developed country. I feel like if I go to mainland Croatia, like, you know, where everyone is, what is it called, Zangief or whatever, like that Street Fighter character, like it's probably very different vibes out there, so I apologize. Okay, Zagreb, yeah, Zangief, Zagreb, whatever. So I apologize to all my Croatian HasanAbi heads out there. I feel like I'm only seeing like the tourist shit, so it just feels so different. I mean, it's beautiful, and the food is like I said, I don't eat seafood, right? So it's a little different for me. But like the steaks and shit that I've had are pretty decent. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're blasting off. Let's go. Nah, I toured Zagreb a few years ago. It was similar vibes. Yeah. Bro, the EU is not helping Croatia. Let me tell you that. Okay. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You join the EU and you think like they're gonna help out a little bit. You know what I mean? They're gonna. Where's the German bucks? Why the fuck are they? Why are they not developing this goddamn country? Absolutely not similar vibes. So many capping chatters. Should Croatia become a new US state instead? I don't know, man. Anyway, revenue and growth potential limited to tourism. Did you see the story where RFK got his brainworms because he fucking barbecued a dog? What? Croatia wasn't even in Schengen until last year. Wait, no way. That's disrespect. That's actually disrespectful, dude. That is so fucked up. Yo, the European Union is ass, dude. I swear to God, they're such fucking elitist pieces of shit. They'll be like, yeah, you join the EU. Let's wait 10 fucking years until you're a part of Schengen. Like, are you kidding me? That's crazy, dude. They literally they waited an entire decade before you could have free travel. That's insane. What the fuck's the point of joining the EU then? Dude, Europe literally uses like the Balkans and Slavs like they're fucking slave labor. It's pretty crazy. That's crazy. They're like, yeah, we'll give you guys stuff. Don't worry. Fuck off. No. Oh, you want to travel? Oh, you want to travel into like other good European countries like Western Europe? Pff, okay. No. Anyway, we did not let them join until we fixed our border dispute. Slovenia, the median netto monthly salary. What the fuck? Hey, yo, what's up with this presidential election cycle, bro? What's going on? Why are people fucking up with dogs? Why are people fucking with dogs like this? Anyway, our simulation is breaking down. No, for real, dude. I've been seeing a lot of people post on Instagram and stuff like America's got the vibes of a country that is like at the precipice of layoffs. A country that is like a company at the precipice of layoffs. You know what I'm saying? And like, honestly, that is an incredibly real ass fucking take. Like, overall, the vibes are kind of abysmal. Like, I feel like shit is not looking too good. I'll be honest. It's not looking good at all. Is purging the SCOTUS an official act? Are you gonna meet with the Albanian prime minister? Yeah, I'm gonna ball up on him. This could be you right now. What the fuck? Bro, Turks are going crazy. Croatia trends. Croatia, Slovenia, Russia, Ronaldo, Europe, Portugal, Belgium. The Plitvice lakes are maybe the most beautiful place on earth, though. That's point for Croatia. Cool open market in Zagreb as well. Does anyone recognize you here? Yes. We saw Dua Lipa in Split. You were in the area if you want to shoot your shot. Yeah, dude, I'm just going to randomly pull up on Dua Lipa. Anyway, dude, more and more fucking Democrats are... What is happening right now? Dude, this is like, this just in. This is breaking news. I feel like the Democrats are doing red wedding shit. Like, I didn't think that this was going to happen. What is happening right now? The median monthly salary after taxes in Croatia is 1,059 euros, and the prices of goods are the same as in Norway. It's so shit to live here. Yeah, I've heard that. I've been asking people about that. From what I understand, it's just like, you know, you don't make a lot of money and the cost of living is pretty fucking high. So a lot of people that have the opportunity to leave go to like Germany and shit. And that produces cheap ass labor for other European nations. Would you review a Croatian nationalist banger about defending a village? Fuck no. Bro, absolutely not. No, I'm good, man. Thank you. What's next? You want me to fucking review Serbian nationalist bangers too after that? What the fuck are we doing? You did for Australia? No, the fucking Australian song I listened to. The Australian song I listened to was about like a dingo eating a baby and then the guy coming back and like fighting the law as a spirit. Okay. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we love killing indigenous people. Like, what are you talking about? Waltzing Matilda is literally like about a dude who just like steals from people, like steals food or something. And then like he dies. And then after he dies, he just like haunts the cops forever or some shit. Very different vibes than like some nationalist quote unquote banger. He was a cattle rustler. No, this is a rare non-racist song. Yeah, you can't say Croatian nationalist and then go, it's not racist, I promise. Anyway, I don't know what this cam angle is, but it reminds me of the OG Ozan days. Yeah. God is a Serb is a banger song. Jesus. Okay. Whew. God dang. What kind of stuff have you been eating? Just like a lot of, like, I've been eating whatever the fuck hotel room service is for the most part. And it's like the meat quality is pretty high here. So that's good. I've been eating like turkey medallions. It's just like chunks of turkey breast. That's pretty good. I've had a bunch of steak, beefsteak. That's decent. I have yet to have cevapi or burek, which is pretty funny because we have burek as well. Coffee's pretty good here. Maybe because it's so goddamn close to Italy. But I wouldn't say that like I've eaten anything that is like a straightforward banger. Like I have yet to have something where I'm like, damn, like this is, you know, incredible. Anyway, McDonald's? No, I have not seen a single McDonald's actually out here. Dude, what is happening in Croatia actually? Why is there like, I mean, I assume that's like in Zagreb, but there's like not a single fucking McDonald's in, like, not that I would have McDonald's, and it's not even like a BDS thing, like obviously BDS, but also beyond that, like, you know, I haven't had McDonald's in years, but it is kind of shocking when you travel somewhere and there's no McDonald's there, and you're like, what's happening here? Like, are we gonna invade this country? Are we gonna civilize these fucking uncivilized barbaric lands with some Mickey D's or what? You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen a single goddamn KFC or Pizza Hut out here, actually. More proof of America's fall off? True, dude. Hell yeah, brother. Mic volume up a wee bit, poor favor? No. There's no oil, no democracy for them. Yeah, we can airdrop in Burger King's, no joke. No, I know. They used to do that at fucking Air Force bases in like Jordan and shit. Like they would ship in Domino's, right? To the fucking soldiers to get them going. Give them a taste of freedom. Remind them of what they're fighting for. Anyway, no oil, no friendship guns. Yeah. All right, well, let's get popping, dude. I didn't even realize, but like the situation is looking real bad for fucking Brandon. Old man Brandon, dude. Biden came out and spoke on the SCOTUS immunity ruling yesterday. I wasn't live at that point, so I didn't get to react to it live, but we'll be reacting to it now. But Clyburn and many others are fucking going back on their initial defense of Brandon, it seems. I have to move this microphone because it's like in front of the minibar with the hopes that there's some water in there because I'm fucking parched.
The reaction to President Biden's performance in last week's debate, which sparked calls by some Democrats for the president to drop out of the race. Rachel Scott is tracking it all for us from Washington. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. President Biden is back at the White House today. His campaign is desperately trying to move past that debate performance, making calls to Democratic lawmakers and donors and rejecting any suggestion that the president should step aside.
President Biden leaving Camp David after a weekend with his family, coming before the cameras to lay out what's at stake this election.
The American people must decide. They want to entrust the president once again, the presidency, to Donald Trump, now knowing he'll be even more emboldened to do whatever he pleases whenever he wants to do it.
The president not taking any questions, his campaign still trying to rebound after that debate performance. Democrats expressing concern. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse urging the president's advisors to be candid with the American people about his mental fitness in an interview with a local Rhode Island station.
People want to make sure that this is a campaign that's ready to go and win, that the president and his team are being candid with us about his condition.
Some Democrats now suggesting the president needs to do an interview or hold a press conference.
I expect that this will be moving forward, for the president to reassure folks in the media, the general public, the many editorialists.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. This is, I'm cooked right now. This is the only water that they have in this fucking hotel room. And I don't think this 1967 communist Soviet era fucking hotel has room service. I might die. I might actually die. I'm so fucking parched. The tap water in Croatia is drinkable, fool. Bro, I don't know about that. Is it? I actually don't know. I mean, I probably will have to. I probably will have to inevitably drink it because otherwise I'm going to die. So, Uber Eats, brother, I don't think you understand. When I say I'm on a fucking island, I mean like literally, I'm on a fucking island, okay? There is no Uber Eats out here. There's no Uber Eats in Croatia in general, but I downloaded the Croatian Uber Eats, which is called like Voodoo or some shit. Glovo. There's two different Uber Eats out here, Glovo and Volt, okay? Neither of which work on this fucking island. I already checked. I had the, yeah, wait, what? Brandon, ABC News announces George Stephanopoulos' exclusive first television interview with President Joe Biden since the debate. Wait, whoa. When is that coming out? When's that coming out? God damn, these guys are fucking dropping serious news skis, dude. Yo, chill, everybody. Chill. What is not Croatian is Finnish. Okay, well, it works in Croatia, so I don't give a shit what it is. Okay. Oh, a first look at the interview will air Friday, full interview Sunday per ABC. Oh, boo. It's not live. Okay, dude. Bro, boo. Bro, they think an interview or a press conference will fix this. It's not a perception problem. It's an actual problem. I know. It is pretty funny to watch them desperately try to fucking salvage it, though. They're like, no. You don't understand. This guy is 100%. He's 100% with it, dude. Many people, we've heard you say, many people say he's a cadaver. Okay? Many people say he's dead. Those people are now Nancy Pelosi and Jim Clyburn, actually. So we don't know what to do anymore. We don't know what to do. Biden's about to go on a COPE tour. Yeah, good luck. Good luck to Brandon. Good luck to America. We are so fucking cooked, boys. Anyway, not as cooked as those who are unsubscribed at the top of the hour, though, because those boys, they are the most cooked. They're about to see a 3-minute ad break right now. Now, if you no longer want to be a part of that group, though, if you do actually want to have an uninterrupted broadcast experience, then you already know what it is. All you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, that is. Twitch Prime is free. Dems cooked us, man. Oh, yeah. Well, when have Dems not cooked us? Let's be real. Oh, Lord, grant me a gifted sub. Yeah, if the Lord can't save you, then use your fucking Twitch Prime, baby. It's free. Like I said, here is the 3-minute ad break now. Anyway, God is dead. I'm stuck in ads now. Is it illegal to leave the Balkans without trying Javapi? Watch out. Okay, bro, I will have Javapi before I leave. I promise you. Okay. Yeah, I assume this interview is going to be happening during Biden's good hours. Well, you assumed right.
And others who've expressed concern by doing unscripted, casual engagements.
Sources tell ABC News the president's family is actively encouraging him to stay in the race. The Biden campaign trying to reassure Democrats and donors. Just last night, speaking to 500 fundraisers.
Joe Biden has never been a show horse. He's always been a workhorse.
He's never been a show horse. He's been a pony. It's a dog and pony show. I don't know what's going on. I'm Jim Clyburn. I'm also 90 years old. Have you guys noticed that I'm old as shit too? Send both of their asses to the glue factory, okay? Everybody's old in the lineup, dude. What the fuck's going on? What is happening, dude? Please bring forward one person that is not 811 years old, okay? This is craziness. This is madness. What the fuck's happening? It's time for some term limits for the Democrats only. Fuck it. Let the Republicans be as old as they want. Institute age limits for the motherfucking Democrats. Okay, please. All right. Here's who should replace Brandon. Okay, hold on. Let's keep going.
Kentucky's popular Governor Andy Beshear even leaving the door open to someone else being at the top of the ticket.
It was a very bad night for the president. But he is still the candidate. Only he can make decisions about his future candidacy. And so as long as he continues to be in the race, I support him.
Another Senator Peter Welch from Vermont this morning calling out the Biden campaign for having what he calls a dismissive attitude for those expressing concerns, saying that it's inappropriate. The Biden campaign now says that they brought in $127 million this month, but some Democrats telling me they want to see the president get back out there, take questions at a town hall or at a press conference, George.
They also want to see fresh polls on where things stand. Okay, Rachel, thanks very much.
Joe Biden is attempting to use the monumental Supreme Court ruling on presidential power to warn about the dangers of a second Trump presidency. But in this crucial first week after the debate, the president's delivery was just as focused as his words.
Bro, I love that. I love that the metric for Brandon is like, well, people are giving me money still. Like, y'all keep saying I'm old, but I keep raising money, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine then. Like, what are we doing here? What's happening here? What's going on? They gave him a spray tan to look less like a ghost. Oh my God, you're not wrong. This motherfucker got a spray tan. You know his ass didn't sit out in the sunlight. He'd perish. Oh my God, he's pulling a Trump strat, dude. Oh my God. He went from orange man bad to I'm orange too. That's crazy. Dude, this is so awesome. We just have our own Trump. Like, it's great. It's fun to see the Democrats basically cope with the notion that, like, we have our very own. Like, and they're behaving exactly like the Republicans are, so it's great. Blue and on, baby.
No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. With today's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity, that fundamentally changed. For all practical purposes, today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent, because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States.
Of course, it all comes down to what the voters think. CNN's David Chalian is here to break it down. Show us the numbers from this new poll.
Yeah, this was fielded entirely after our debate, as you noted. And I think there are some data points in here that the Biden campaign will use to try and push back on some of this Democratic concern. And I think there are some data points in here that those elected officials and donors who are concerned about Biden moving forward will use to push back on the president. Take a look overall at the state of the race in our brand new poll. 49% Donald Trump, 43% Joe Biden. This is a 6-point lead, Dana, and this is unchanged since our last poll in April. In fact, it's been a remarkably consistent race with Joe Biden trailing Donald Trump just outside the margin of error for quite some time. If you look back in our trend here, you see it was identical in April, 49-43. You see nothing has really changed since last August. By last fall, this race is kind of...
Guys, I'm new to this political stuff. Is this good? I can't tell. It's got to be, right? This is good, right? It's just funny because, like, his team keeps saying, look at the polls, like, look at the momentum. It's shifting. Yeah, bro, it's shifting away from you. Like, that's what his team has been coping with. Where it's like, well, in the states that do matter, like, Biden is actually starting to pick up some steam. And it's like, no, dog, he's losing it, okay? The momentum is in the opposite direction that you would want it to be. What is happening?
Into place.
That's remarkable to look at that, even just from April to now. Exactly the same.
Identical. And the Biden campaign will say to folks, see, the debate didn't change the state of the race. Of course, when you're 6 points down, you kind of needed the debate to change the state of the race. I need you guys to understand something. Given the way that the Electoral College works, given the way that the House of Representatives is slanted, Democrats have to be winning by 5 points to actually win the Electoral College. Okay? Not losing, winning by like at least 3 points, but a comfortable margin of victory by 5. I don't know if you guys know this, but the most populous states are blue. So, like, you know, across the board, like, it doesn't reflect well on the polling when you're looking at a 49, when you're looking at this kind of point difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. It's okay, though. He's raising money, baby. Let's go. Wait, what? Okay, they're throwing. Hunter Biden has joined the White House meetings as he stays close to the president post-debate. No, they're throwing. Bro, they're throwing. That's crazy.
the number one defense for Hunter Biden has been he has no business in the White House. Like, up until this moment, you could very clearly point to, the fuck do you mean Hunter Biden's laptop? He doesn't do shit. He's just like, yeah, he's cool. He's sick. He's just smoking crack and stuff. Who gives a fuck? Now he's in the White House. Dude, are they just, bro? Okay, I'm sorry. White nativist immigration, wanting to build a border wall, now looking suspiciously orange, bringing his fucking fail son into the White House. Is this Donald Trump? Bro, are you copying all of his worst habits? Like, what's happening? Copy the good shit. What is happening right now? He's just like, yeah, that's right. My opponent is Donald Trump. Everybody likes him. That's why I'm going to be Donald Trump myself. What's going on here? Even the White House senior aides are confused. Yeah, no shit, dude. I'd be like, what the fuck is this crackhead doing in here? Unless he's here to give daddy the good crack so we can fucking be a dynamo again. Get this dipshit out of here. What do you mean? Like, do I think that like Hunter Biden is like illegally, I don't know, improperly abusing his relationship with his dad or whatever for like Ukraine? No. For Burisma? No. But I do think this is really bad. It's a really bad look. It's a really bad look when your son is now officially, you know, he's got some gun charges. He's been plastered all over the media. He's like public enemy number one. Why the fuck are you bringing him around? What is happening here? Optically speaking, this is an unimaginably bad move because now you give credence to the Hunter Biden conspiracies. All of a sudden, there's weight to the statements. Not to say that it's real. I'm not saying it's real at all. But at least there's more weight to it if he's in the fucking White House. Why would you ever go around him? Like, why would you ever be around him? Not even invite him to the White House. Like, don't even be around your son. You're running for re-election, dumbass. The fuck is this shit? Things are getting very weird in the Democratic Party. Remember when I told you guys this is like the most boring election cycle so far, but it has the capacity to be the most interesting one? These are like moves that are happening in that direction a little bit. Like I told you from the start, like this is a very predictable, very boring election cycle. You know both the candidates. Nobody likes a rerun. And it turns out the rerun is crazy, okay? Or at least it's starting to be crazy. I don't know.
About what was locked in here. So 65% of the electorate say their mind is made up. If your mind is made up in this poll, you're splitting 53% for Trump, 45% for Biden. However, 31% of voters in the poll say they are movable. Either they don't have a first choice or they're not locked in. They're willing to move off of who they're saying their choice is right now. 31% of the electorate's movable. They split more evenly. 39% for Trump, 37% for Biden. Obviously, Joe Biden needs to be working on this movable crowd of nearly a third of the electorate, whether those that don't have a choice or actually with Trump right now, but could move to improve his standing.
And talk about what is driving the voters on these numbers.
This is going to be welcome news to Biden because the race is still largely about Donald Trump as the motivating factor, right? Even after the debate. This is among Biden supporters.
Bro, this was the same energy in 2020, except like there were less people that were, there was still a significant number of people who was like, Biden sucks shit, but like, at least he's not Trump and I'm trying to get him the fuck out of office. This time it's a rerun and there's a lot more people who are like, honestly, he's not going to get the job done. Like that is a dire situation, okay? If your whole shtick is like, I'm not Trump, I'm the man to get Trump out of office, and you run on that and you win a contested primary, even though you got a lot of fucking help from Barack Hussein Obama, right? Even if all that happens, ultimately, like, you know, a shit ton of people still voted in the primaries and they voted for you and you became the conclusive nominee. You are not the incumbent in that situation for 4 years. And 75% of the party is like, yo, you got to drop out. And that's fucking 2 years ago. Okay. Nowadays, you can't do the rerun of 2020 with just like, well, people are just anti-Trump. There are plenty of people who are anti-Trump. That much is still true. And that is a major motivator for why people are voting for the Democratic Party, why people are voting for Biden. But when you look at the numbers, it's clearly not enough. It's just very bad. It's just very bad strategy overall, in my opinion.
What would your vote be more to vote against Trump or for Biden? 63% say against Trump, 37% say for Biden. And I will say this 37 is actually a slight improvement for Biden, where a bit more of his voters are saying they're actually voting for him. But overall, the thrust for Biden supporters is they want to vote against Trump, not for Biden. It's the complete reversal for Trump supporters. 2/3 of Trump supporters are casting their ballot for Donald Trump. 34% say they're casting.
Hey guys, is this good? Is this good for Biden? I can't tell because it seems like it's not. I mean, this has always been the case, by the way, for the record. This was how it was last time around too. People just love Trump. It is what it is.
Casting against Joe Biden. Again, we see a slight uptick here for Trump among those voting for him too. So we're seeing both Trump and Biden sort of consolidate.
They're talking like it's good. Yeah, good for Trump.
Their fellow partisans.
What about the debate performance? Let's talk about that because we really want to know what voters thought and whether the debate performance actually impacted how they perceive Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, overall in this poll, we see that people say Donald Trump won the debate. We saw that in our instant poll on the night of the debate among.
Leaked polling from Democratic data firm OpenLab shows Biden sinking in battleground states and putting states like Virginia, New Hampshire, and New Mexico in play for Trump. And now Harris, Whitmer, Newsom, and Pete outpolling him in swing states. Biden plunges in swing states in leaked post-debate poll. Also, for the first time, he's polling behind Kamala Harris. Oh, my Lord. Oh, come on, dude. I'm not going to fucking subscribe to Puck. Like, just give me the fucking article for free, Peter Hamby. What the hell are we doing? Fucking Snapchat Andy over here, like, forcing my ass to buy a subscription? Like, what are we doing? To the Puck? Dude, what is going on, dude? Every time you motherfuckers send me a new link, it's like another dog shit new thing that Biden has said. Dude, I swear to God, I logged on today and I was like, what are we going to talk about today? Maybe we'll talk about Biden. And you guys have been like, hey, dude, here's a Democrat that's saying Biden should drop out. Hey, oh my God, Nancy Pelosi just came out and said, yeah, I take back everything I said. Oh my God, Jim Clyburn came out and said, yeah, actually, Biden's old as dirt, maybe even older. Hey, check out this tweet. Here's Biden saying he doesn't want to fucking actually reform the Supreme Court and he thinks it's awesome. Hey, dude, check out this new tweet. Biden says he actually fucking wants every American to die. He's actually going to personally send every American to fucking Gaza. Okay? Like what are the political instincts of this dinosaur and the people surrounding him? What is going on? It's like, are you trying to step on every fucking landmine? You have unironic momentum in this direction. Use it to your advantage. Like, talk about the Supreme Court sucking ass. And he's like, yeah, no, Jack, the Supreme Court is great. It's literally historically the most unpopular. Supreme Court has, I don't think ever in its history been this unpopular by the broader American electorate. I do not understand why you wouldn't just shit on them. Like, what are you doing? Even if you're not going to do anything, just like lean into it, man. What the fuck is happening? What is this guy doing? I don't understand it. Here's the leaked polling. Per Puck News, leaked them internal polling from Open Labs. Pre-debate margin, post-debate margin. Minnesota, pre-debate margin 2.4, post-debate 0.4. Margin drop 2%. Dude, he dropped in every fucking swing state, in every key state in general. Oh my God, look at Pennsylvania. 5.1 to minus 7.3. Is this good? Guys, is this good? The funniest part about this entire process is that, like, Biden is not exactly this, like, charismatic figure, right? He's not like an ideological titan and therefore has automatically, like, people rushing to his defense to be like, no, he's got to finish his agenda. He's got to finish the job. He's not like a Chavez type. You know what I'm saying? He is, by definition, a political demon who very openly has tried to fucking hammer the center every time. When you do that, just like Macron, you are not going to have any kind of fucking serious loyalty beyond like Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough. Okay? He's not a cult of personality like Donald Trump is. And he's got no tangible political motivations that you can, like a broader political project that you can point to be like, no, he's got to finish the job. Even though he's like kind of unpopular, that's still our guy. Like, we got to keep going after it. Like with Bernie, right? Bernie Sanders, love him, hate him, doesn't matter. Like, that man has a very clear agenda. right? So even if he was like tanking to a certain degree in the polls, obviously like he would still have, in a very Trump style way, a solid amount, a solid base of support. Brandon's base of support is non-existent beyond the fact that he's simply not Trump. He's running against Donald Trump, right? So for that reason, when the veil is lifted and all of a sudden, the guy whose only singular aspect that people voted for him in 2020 was that he was not Trump and he was going to beat Trump, and then he beat Trump, when that falls apart, when people no longer think he can beat Trump, it's over. What have you got? You have nothing left. You literally have nothing left at that point. It's so bad. I don't think people understand how bad this is. So he can fucking paint himself orange and like yell at a teleprompter in every district in Pennsylvania, but that's not really going to change the outcome, because 50 million people watched that debate and billions of dollars of news commentary has occurred since then for the past week and a half. And every single piece of news that came out, even from his likely allies, has been, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. We can't do this. He's got to fucking go. It's so bad.
Weight Watchers, that's true broadly with the electorate. But take a look at these numbers, and this is going to keep the conversation going inside the Democratic Party. Nearly 3/4 of American voters say someone else, not Joe Biden, would give Democrats their best chance if they were at the top of the ticket. Only 25% of voters say Joe Biden gives Democrats their best chance of winning in November. And take a look at these numbers.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on. Is this good? Guys, I'm new to this politics thing. Is this good? I can't tell. Democrats' chances better if nominee is amongst registered voters. 25% say Democrats' chances are better with Joe Biden. 75% say someone else.
Chance if they were at the top of the ticket. Only 25% of voters say Joe Biden gives Democrats their best chance of winning in November. And take a look at these numbers. Joe Biden's approval rating is down to 36.
Normally, you'd have some annoying ass fucking liberal Democratic Party defenders in here being like, no, you're so stupid. Like, you just want Joe Biden to lose. Why the fuck do you keep criticizing him? But if you've noticed, there's like only one or two people that have actually chirped in here over the course of the past week and a half. That's how you know shit ain't sweet right now, okay? Like when you got the institution defenders not really chirping in the chat when I say like Brandon needs to fucking drop out if the Democrats want to win anything, like, and I'm not getting any fucking chirpers. Shit, dude. That ain't good, seemingly. That 12-year-old TikToker Harry Sisson, my goat, he's still riding with Biden. Well, you know, he's one guy. I don't know if that's going to work.
6% in this poll. That is his lowest approval rating of his entire presidency in CNN polling. His lowest number nearly 4 months out from the election. That's not welcome news for any incumbent. And we tested what would it look like if Vice President Kamala Harris was in a matchup against Donald Trump and not Joe Biden. And the vice president actually does a little bit better against Trump than Joe Biden does.
That's that's it. It's over. This is the final draw. No, it's done. Dude, when you got charisma suck, the charisma black hole, Kamala Harris polling better than Joseph Robinette Brandon, that's crazy, dude. Biden, you need to step aside. Let Kamala handle it, okay? That or you're a white supremacist. Choose one, okay? K-Hive, we're on the up and up. It's her turn, K-Hive. That's not good. I know. I mean, I think if there's one person, there's like two people that would still probably put this election in like contested territory, and that's Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. And I'm not kidding when I say the Democratic Party would probably put Hillary Clinton in that slot. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. That's such a Democratic Party move to just be like, oh yeah, let's put Hillary Clinton back on the ticket. It'll work this time. People make jokes about here's how Bernie can still win, but like that's literally Hillary Clinton. She stays playing that role. Please don't manifest this. I'm sorry, it's over. I'm not saying psych. It's most likely going to happen.
The race within margin of error, no clear leader. Donald Trump at 47, Kamala Harris at 45%. We also tested Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, Gretchen Whitmer. You see here, those Democrats, they kind of perform like Joe Biden.
Yeah, the difference is they don't have Joe Biden's name recognition. Okay? So that in and of itself is a fucking benefit, because the $127 million in campaign funds that Brandon just raised would be great to pump names out there, like a new person that you put in that slot, okay? Rather than the name that everybody knows. Joe Biden, everyone knows who fucking Joe Biden is. He's the incumbent. He's been in politics for 800 years, okay? What's more ads gonna do? Whereas, like, when you poll someone like Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, they don't have the same name recognition that Joe Biden does. Now, for everyone in this chat, you're like, what do you mean? I know all these candidates. I know all these fucking politicians. It's like, yeah, dude, because you're here. You're a fucking political autist, okay? Like, you're listening to a guy who ran around a fucking Croatian island so that he could talk about politics for 5 fucking hours in a dark hotel room. Okay, we like, obviously this is not a normal situation. The average person, though, like normal people who are, I don't know, still doing Hawk Tua memes or whatever the fuck, they don't know who the fuck any of these people are. They forgot who Pete Buttigieg is. They don't know who Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer is at all. So, yeah, for those people, obviously this is a game changer if there's like a shit ton of momentum behind them, if they become the new candidate. Anyway.
Trump is beating them right now outside the margin of error. Only Kamala Harris in this poll of these Democrats tested is getting this race within the margin of error, Dana.
All right, David. Poof, I'm over here now. We'll see you here in a minute. Thank you so much for all of that very, very interesting reporting from our poll. Let's talk about more about all of this with my great group of reporters, the Washington Post's Yasmin Abutaleb, CNN's Eva McCann, and Olivier Knox of U.S. News. Again, David will be here in a moment. Olivier, I want to start with you. Your sort of takeaway from these numbers that David just revealed.
Well, I have two thoughts. The first is I have not seen the Democratic Party this agitated and in this much of a panic since 19.
After the worst performance of his career and his worst news cycle, Biden didn't drop at all from CNN's previous poll. Like, what are we doing here?
1998, early 1998.
Yeah, because those people, if you didn't look at the other previous fucking CNN poll, those people are like, I don't give a shit. I'm voting out Donald Trump. 67%. If you noticed, all of those other name recognition lacking candidates also still poll around the same fucking around the same points as Biden. Why? Nobody knows who the fuck Pete Buttigieg is, bro. If you asked 10 Americans, if you asked 100 Americans right now, what cabinet position Pete Buttigieg has, they'd be like, what is a Pete Buttigieg? The fuck are you talking about? It's like these guys are polling with the same percentages that Biden is for that reason, because these guys are like, because there's a base of support in the Democratic Party. And it's 67% of Democratic Party voters that want to vote against Donald Trump, and only like 30+% that want to vote for Biden. Okay? This is, that's the reason. That's the reason why they're polling around the same percentage right now.
When the Lewinsky scandal erupted.
Wow.
And we saw prominent Democrats saying that Bill Clinton should resign, right? That didn't happen, and Democrats did just fine in those midterms that year. The second thought I have is that we really should be polling the 4 or so states that are actually going to decide this election. If 24, yeah, I'm sure you will, but if 24 goes the way 20 and 16 went, we're talking about tens of thousands of voters in a handful of states. And so my theory of the case is that literally any issue can swing this election.
I think that this is certainly instructive, but I think the most telling thing will.
People are saying Democratic convention battleground between many candidates will be a possible detrimental to the Dems re-election, but I just don't think throwing Kamala out there would be a good idea at all. Yeah, that's why they should do what they fucking used to do, which is backroom shit. Just like select a fucking candidate that you think is the best goddamn candidate and put him forward. Hopefully it's not Hillary Clinton, okay? Yeah, Democrats need to be fucking united on this issue. It's so stupid. I genuinely think that it's the best idea. A contested primary where there's like a bunch of different people going at each other's throats is probably going to hurt the Democratic Party's chances. But like a new successor that you just pick is probably the best way to go. Be like, this is the guy. Find the one with the least amount of fucking negatives and just let him ride.
Really to be continuing to talk to voters. I was in conversation with some of them this weekend. There was a rally here in DC in support of low-wage workers. And I thought that there would be more pushback after the debate performance. I thought that they would raise issues with a whole number of things concerning President Biden, because this is really the left flank of the coalition. And instead, it was the exact opposite. They really rallied around him. They said that all of the response was not fair. They seemed to take a really pragmatic response to all of this and say, listen, he's ultimately going to be our nominee. The alternative is former President Trump, and we're going to stand by him through this difficult period.
David, do you want to? I'm going to move on to some of the things that are going on in the Democratic Party with regard to the debate. But is there anything else that you really want to emphasize, your big picture takeaway from everything you just gave us?
Well, I think the biggest thing here is Joe Biden is not on track to win this race right now, and he needed a debate performance that was going to upend the trajectory of the race. That did not happen here. I mean, inside these numbers of him being 6 points down from Donald Trump is that he's down 10 points among independent voters. Obviously, that was not the case 4 years ago when he won the race nationally by 4 percentage points. So if this is what the result is, that would be, a 10-point swing in the other direction. It's notable that Kamala Harris's performance with independent voters in this poll, she's almost even with Trump. Biden's 10 points down with independent voters.
All right. So I mentioned I want to talk about kind of what's going on behind the scenes with regard to Democrats and the Biden campaign, and something that went from behind the scenes to on TV this morning, which is an interview with our colleague Casey Hunt. Mike Quigley, the congressman, said the following.
His 4 years are one of the great presidencies of our lifetime. But I think he has to be honest with himself. This is a decision he's going to have to make. He clearly has to understand, I think what you're getting to here is that his decision not only impacts who's going to serve in the White House the next 4 years, but who's going to serve in the Senate, who's going to serve in the House, and it will have implications for decades to come. It's his decision. I just want him to appreciate at this time just how much it impacts not just his race, but all the other races coming in November.
Now, what's notable about that isn't what he said. It's that he said it in public. We have all talked to people who have said that and much more in private, but they have been kept at bay by the Biden campaign. He decided he wanted to say that publicly.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really what has the potential to maybe swing the conversation in a more public way from sort of pundits and columnists to more Democratic elected officials who may start to call for there to be another nominee. Is if polls, the Biden campaign will point to polls like today's to say it didn't change the race. I think that's a bit of a problem because, like David said, that they needed to change the dynamics of the race. Being 6 points down is not an especially strong argument, but if polls show that Senate candidates, House candidates are now at risk of losing their races more than they were before because they're being dragged down by Biden. And this was a concern well before the debate that a lot of people didn't want to, in tough districts and tough states, didn't want to campaign with Biden, didn't want to appear at events with him. If now it looks like Democrats are at a bigger risk of not being able to flip the House, losing the Senate, then I think that could really start to change the public conversation.
This just in, multiple Democratic sources confirmed to Fox News that Democratic governors yesterday held a call to discuss the latest developments regarding President Biden's 2024 re-election campaign in the wake of the president's extremely rough performance in Thursday's debate with former President Donald Trump. Now, the call was organized by Democratic Governors Association, DGA Chair Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. Sources familiar with the call described it as a forum where the governors could discuss what was going on with Biden, but that there was no serious talk of urging the president to step aside. One source characterized it as a gripe session. Sources also tell us that the Biden campaign was aware of the call ahead of time. From a national Democratic official familiar with the call, quote, Democratic governors are some of the president and vice president's most proactive and vocal supporters because they've seen how the Biden-Harris administration's accomplishments are directly benefiting their residents. The Biden-Harris team is in constant communication with the governors and their teams, including about yesterday's meeting. News of the call was first reported about 90 minutes ago by CNN's Jake Tapper. Kaylee, I want to get your thoughts on that. What say you about, let's take the response about how there's always the communication and they're in great standing. And what do you note about this call?
It's inconceivable to me. I mean, former President Trump, I was around him a lot after 2 debates. I was around him after events. He was constantly picking up the phone and calling allies, governors, senators, congressmen. And the notion that you've had a disastrous debate performance, widely panned.
It is pretty wild, dude. He's not even going up the ranks and just being like, everybody shut the fuck up. Don't talk shit. I'm good. I'm with it. My dick still hangs low. My bitch is bad. Have you seen Jill Biden? I got this. That's crazy.
And by CNN, by MSNBC, by your allies, by Joe Scarborough, that you wouldn't pick up the phone and call governors? I mean, why not is the question. Is he, number one, too stubborn? Is he, number two, unable to call them? I mean, those are the questions that come to mind because it makes no sense. The only thing I would postulate is maybe there's more going on behind the scenes than we know. Maybe he is really considering stepping aside. Maybe that explains why you wouldn't call the governors. That's the only thing I can postulate.
And Lisa, another interesting thing to note as well. So as we mentioned, it was organized by Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, but who also appeared on this network to defend Biden post-debate. So what say you about him being the organizer behind this call?
Well, I just want to say real quick, and looking at these images of Joe Biden, I finally agree with the sentiment, orange man bad. So just want to put that on there. Look, I've had bad spray tans too, so, you know, it happened. Okay, but anyway, all right.
Yo, come on, bro. I feel gross right now. I feel icky. I feel yucky. It's like, you don't get to say that because you say orange man good. Like, that's my thing. I get to say that because I shit on Trump all the time. You can't fucking turn around and be like, orange man bad. Look at his spray tan. It's like, you can't be Uno reversing when your guy is the guy originally, okay? You can't do that. Like, how are you going to dick ride Trump into oblivion and turn around and just be like, yeah, actually, it's kind of whack that Joe Biden got a spray tan. Have you seen your guy? Like, what is happening here?
So, you know, look, I am loving watching this implosion from the left because the media, the left, they're all content with lying to us about Joe Biden's condition until he wobbled on the stage and America saw what is actually happening, the mental vacancy that is Joe Biden. I will say, I think Republicans need to expand the line of attack beyond Joe Biden's age. The country is falling apart, not because Joe Biden is 81, but because of Democrats' policies. Look at California, for instance.
Oh my, she said California. That's awesome. Yo, this is like the new meta where they're like, hey, by the way, now that we're done pouncing on Joe Biden, a reminder that like it's actually the Democratic Party's policies that is the reason why Joe Biden sucks. Okay, that's just objectively untrue. The Democrats are doing pretty fucking good in spite of Biden. It's just ridiculous.
I guarantee Gavin Newsom was on that phone call. He's 56 years old. California has some of the highest taxes in the nation, yet they have a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit, the highest unemployment as well. You look at the homeless crisis, the crime crisis.
Gavin Newsom runs on reversing every Ronald Reagan policy, including increasing the top marginal tax rate back to 70%. Wins by Reagan numbers. I'm just saying. Live White House taking questions on calls for Joe Biden to step down.
As you all know, and many of you reached out during.
Oh God, she's the absolute worst person to deal with this. Oh, she's so bad. She's so fucking bad at her job. Oh my God, it's already a tough job to begin with, but goddamn,
he knows how to do the job, and he knows how to do the job. Not
I gotta
because
fucking.
he says
I'm
it,
drinking.
Because
I'm gonna drink tap water.
Because
I'm gonna fucking
for
pull
3.5
the.
years, almost 4 years, the president's record has been unprecedented.
I'm about to drink Croatian
for
tap
the
water.
American people.
Let's see how this
Another thing that he
goes.
said that I would add is he knows right from wrong. He knows how to tell the truth, and again, he knows how to deliver for the American people. Joe Biden is a person. Take away his title. He is someone who has dealt with tragedy. He is someone who has confronted that head on. He is someone who knows how to get back down, up once you've been knocked down. That is something that he understands very, very well. And I think, and we believe, that's something that many of Americans across the country understand as well. And he knows how to come back. He knows how to come back. And so the president's going to continue to focus on what he's been doing the past 3.5 years. He's going to continue to focus on the American people. And, you know, to your question, just to add a little bit more to your question, look, you heard from Speaker Pelosi, you heard from Representative Clyburn, and let me just paraphrase a little bit of what they said. Speaker Pelosi, who's very close to the president, said it is not about performance in terms of a debate. It's about performance in a presidency. And this is a president, you've heard me say this, we've talked about this. He's been able to give us an economic recovery, the strongest economic recovery in modern history. Let's not forget, during the midterms of 2022, many people, many of you all, some of you in this room, said that it was going to be a red wave, and that didn't happen. He defeated Big Pharma. We have seen historic low in crime in more than down to 50-year low. And then you had Representative Clyburn, who said the president has done a great job leading for the last 3.5 years. The best predictor of future behavior is past performance. This is from Clyburn. And when you look at the record of President Biden versus former President Trump, you see President Biden, who has delivered the strongest recovery in modern history, versus the previous administration, whose plans hurts the middle class. And President Biden, who is committed to protecting our fundamental freedoms, versus the former.
Let's see how this goes, okay? I'm also doing a kettle situation because I need some coffee. Are you ready for this? I'm about to try Croatian tap water. Okay, it's fucking gross.
The former president, the previous administration, doing everything that they could, and they did, to overturn Roe v. Wade, and they are responsible for that. And that's coming from two people who are not just leaders in Congress, but also close to the president.
I think part of the problem that Democrats are articulating is that it wasn't just that he had a cold, but rather he had, answers. He was trailing off. He didn't answer some questions in a sort of fulsome way. And speaking of Nancy Pelosi, one of the things that she recently said was that it was a legitimate question whether his performance was an episode or a condition. So I guess I wondered if there's been any consideration given to releasing a more robust set of medical records.
This vacation sucks, man. Yo, you're telling me, dude.
This look, and again, I get the question. It is a fair question to ask. We are not taking that away, and that's why the president certainly has spoken to this. As it relates to his medical records, we have been transparent. We have released thorough reports from his medical team every year since he's been in office. That is something that we have been pretty consistent about. As it relates to, something like a cognitive test, to the question that you're asking me about what the former speaker said. Obviously, she can speak for herself. His team, who has said, the medical team said it is not warranted in this case. We have put forward a thorough, transparent annual report on his health. So they have said that is not warranted. It is not necessary. Again, we understand. We're not taking away from what you all saw or what the American people saw. We understand. It was a bad night. It is not uncommon for incumbents to have a bad night on their first debate. And we are going to continue to do the work that we have been doing on behalf of the American people. I think the president's record certainly speaks for itself.
Thank you, Corinne. You just reminded us that President Biden had a cold on Thursday. What medications was he taking in the days or hours leading up to the debate?
And I know that question has come in a couple of times to us. He was not taking any cold medication.
Was he taking any medication that would have interfered with his performance?
He was not taking any cold medication. That is what I can speak to. I've asked his doctor, and that's what he stated to us.
Bro, I just saw fucking TripAdvisor. I Googled it. Our tour is not aware that tap water is drinkable in Croatia. But then I saw another one where I input the island that I'm on, and I was like, can I drink the fucking water, the tap water in the islands? And it says no, it's not. It says, being an island, it is not great to drink the tap water. We alternated between having some tap water and having bottled water, and we're okay. One of the related questions is, can English people drink tap water in Croatia? Why English people specifically? Islands usually don't have infrastructure in mainland Europe to drink the water. Do you drink the tap water in America? Fuck no, dude. Are you kidding me? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I don't trust that shit at all. I'm going to be honest with you. I trust Croatian island tap water more than I trust American tap water, okay? Y'all are crazy. I know, New York City tap water. Yeah, okay, fine. One place. I'm not talking about New York City. I'm talking about LA. Anyway, real rich guy shit. Yeah. Yeah, it's called I don't want fucking bacteria in my body. Make a vlog out of the experience. I shit my pants in Croatia for 7 fucking days type shit. I couldn't even fly back home because it was explosive diarrhea, having explosive diarrhea attacks. Croatian scientists put me in a fucking laboratory to study my asshole because they were like, this is the most anyone's ever shit out. Fill the bottle with kettle water. It will be good then. Yeah, but it's fucking boiling at that point.
After the debate, did the president get examined by a doctor or did he get a neurological scan?
A neurological scan? Look, what I can say is that, just to take a step back, it was a bad night. We understand that it was a bad night. And the president has spoken to this. And he understands that. And so I cannot speak to anything beyond what I just shared. The president has regular annual physicals that we release in a thorough report. We're going to continue to do that. I don't have anything else beyond that.
So was the last time he was seen by a doctor then in February?
I just don't have anything beyond that, beyond the question of a neurological exam.
Okay, well, you continue to say it was just a bad night, but is there an explanation then for why it was so bad? If it's not his stamina, if he prepared, as you guys say, for so long, if it's not a problem with his mental fitness, what happened that night? What did we see?
I will also add that the president also spoke to this as well. He said, I'm not as smooth as I used to be. I don't debate as well as I used to. I don't walk as easily as I used to. But one thing that he knows is how to deliver for the American people. He understands that. He understands that he's not a young man, obviously. He said this. But his focus is going to continue to deliver for the American people on the issues that they care about: the economy, expanding health care, fighting for Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, making sure that we
the president knows he sucks, okay?
Stage, which is something that
quit
this
asking.
Has been able.
It's like the president already addressed this, okay? He said he sucks shit. He said he's ass. He already addressed that he sucks. He already addressed that nobody likes him. Please stop asking about this. What the fuck? I thought we addressed all this.
To do. What
kind of luggage is that? It's a Pelican case for my remote stream setup. Yeah. The president will be serving the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. He has not lost a step. Many people are saying the president is soon to have a birthday and become 33, and that he's not as fast as he used to be. Okay, sometimes his back hurts. Sometimes he drinks Croatian tap water and shits his pants. Okay, that's what people are saying. But at the top of the hour, he's still serving them 3-minute ad breaks. Do you understand? And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Okay? Turkey just scored on Austria. Let's go, baby. 1 minute in. Wait, for real, or did it just start? Like, how is that possible? They scored 1 minute in? Damn, dude. They're punishing Austria for what Austria did to the Ottoman Empire, dude. They stopped us at the gates of Vienna once, not twice, okay? It will never happen again. Yeah, Justice Merchant delays Trump's New York sentencing until September. We'll talk about that in a second.
Turn around the mess that this last administration created, as certainly on not just domestically, but on the world stage. Okay.
Is anyone in the White House hiding information about the president's health or his ability to do the job day to day?
Absolutely not.
Given the fact that it's more than a bad night when his political future is threatened, would he be willing to provide more medical information? Would he be willing to have Dr. O'Connor provide more to answer these questions?
Look, Kelly, certainly understand the question, appreciate the question, but what we have provided has been very transparent.
But it's
has
not
been
recent.
has
And
been
the Country Watch.
But February was this year. It wasn't too long ago. It was indeed this year, and we provided transparent report, a thorough
There were
report.
many Americans who were concerned about his capacity. Was he okay? What happened? And we've now gone several days where he has only done teleprompter comments. He has not taken questions. I know you've announced a press conference. We appreciate that. An interview. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
But there is a period of time here where the public is trying to understand what happened. And
See, the thing about dementia and being old is that time fixes it. Time fixes this problem. More time. That's what he needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, surely that's the one thing that'll help him here.
the president could help to answer that by engaging with us in an unscripted way right now.
So let me just say a couple.
Stolen joke from Felix. I will literally force feed you Croatian tap water for the rest of your fucking bitch ass life if you say some shit like that, okay? I've been making that goddamn joke. For literally months now. Months. You motherfuckers watch one Chapo episode where they make the same fucking joke, and they're my friends, okay? They're my friends. I love them. But I've been saying this shit for fucking months. Not even months, years. Suck my dick, chatters. All you've done is basically demonstrate you watched a Chapo episode and you heard similar takes. So it's like, I must have taken it from them. Are you accusing the Chapo lads stealing from me? No. It's like the most obvious fucking joke to make.
There's a couple of things that you said that I do want to address. Number one, less than an hour after the debate, he went and he engaged directly with the American people, right? He went to a watch party. He was in a room with hundreds of supporters who watched the debate. And when he walked in,
that's so sick.
They cheered him on. And he did a photo line with them.
No way.
For some time.
No way. Let him run. I mean, honestly, dude, he did all that. That's crazy. I mean, he deserves it. Give it to him. Give him the presidency. Fuck it. You should let Trump know about this. I'm sure he'll drop out. You know? There you go. Here's the Turkish goal. Breaking news. 1 minute into the game. Fucking hell. Euro 24 rub. Oh, wait, what's happening here? Oh my God, bro. Twitter video.
من ركله ركنيه ستنفذ اردا جولر يرسل لك كره لافه خطيره الله الماضيه.
Okay, Arabic, dude, Arabic sports commentary goes hard as fuck. That's so funny. Allah, that's awesome, bro. That's some blue lock ass bullshit right there. By the way, fucking corner kick that ping ponged in, like, it's like you can't hit that if you tried. You know what I mean? That's crazy. W Turkey, dude. God is on our side, folks. We are punishing the Austrians for stopping us at the gates of Vienna.
Some of your colleagues had an opportunity to speak to these supporters. He did that, and that was something that he was able to do right after. And then we stopped at a Waffle House, as some of you all know, and spoke to a packed restaurant.
Bro, this is literally like, you're talking about him like he's a baby. Like, yeah, that's right. And he put on his best suit and tie, and everyone said he was a handsome boy. That's right. And he went to Waffle House, and it was packed. So many people were eating waffles. And he said, I want a waffle with ice cream. And Jill Biden came and said, ice cream is for closers. And you didn't have the best night tonight, Joe. And Joe was like, oh, that makes me very sad. So Jill said, just kidding. You still deserve vanilla ice cream, Joe. And then they lived happily ever after. It's like you're describing like a baby. You're like, oh yeah, he was able to order all on his own. Sick. Okay. He should be the president forever, I think. Thank you.
Spent some time there. Then the next day, he went to North Carolina, spoke in front of hundreds of supporters there who said,
my God,
we support you, Joe. We love you, Joe. And so he was able to do that. In those 2.5 days or so after the debate, he went to 4 states and engaged with supporters, engaged with American people, everyday people, heard directly from them. And let's not forget, when we landed in North Carolina, I think it was like 2 a.m. in the morning, he engaged with supporters there as well. So the president has been out there. He's been listening to supporters. It's something that he loves to do, not just supporters, but American people out there, everyday people who appreciate what he does, who wants to hear more from him, as you just stated, and got that opportunity to do just that. I think it matters that he's going to do an interview on Friday. I think it matters that he's going to go to Wisconsin and do that, right? Engage with everyday people. We're going to continue to do that. Nothing has changed in that regard. We're going to continue to be out there. He's going to be in Pennsylvania as well this weekend, as I just stated.
And one more. We're reporting that Hunter Biden...
Bro, you literally just described like the bare minimum basic necessities of running a presidential campaign. Like, and you're talking about it like it's a fucking phenomenal accomplishment. She's like, oh yeah, he's speaking to voters. Like, damn, dude, this really changes my perception of Joe Biden being old as fuck. Like, that's crazy. Thank you, Karine Jean-Pierre. What else did he do? Did he wipe his own fucking ass? Congratulations. That's great. This surely is the phenomenal defense expected from the press secretary. I mean, god damn, she's so bad. Not to be like Fox News Andy over here, but she's like, she is really fucking bad, dude. She is really bad at her job. Ay, ay, ay.
He's been in some meetings with senior advisors. Why is the president's son involved?
So a couple of things I saw that reporting as I was coming out. So a couple of things there. Look, the president, as you know, is very close to his family. This is a holiday week, 4th of July. He spent time with his family, as you all know, and reported at
Bro, what do you mean? Oh, it's 4th of July? Like, let Hunter be president for one day? What the fuck are we doing? He's at work, dude. He's the president. What are you talking about? He's not just the president. He's the president running for re-election. He's not just the president running for re-election. He's the president running for re-election with a felon son who has been like persona non grata, public enemy number one by the Republicans for the longest time. And the greatest defense against all of that was always like, well, he's not in the fucking White House. Who gives a shit? Okay, what do you mean? Oh, he's just having a fun time with his son? Like, okay, do it outside of the White House, man. What the fuck? What do you mean?
Hunter came back.
Even fucking senior advisors are like, what the fuck is Hunter Biden doing here? What is going on right now?
With him and walked with him into that meeting, that speech prep. And
it's like, it was bring your kid to work day. His kid, 50-year-old former crackhead Hunter Biden. Like he ain't 14, man. What are we talking about? This ain't Barron Trump. He's like 50-plus-year-old. Like, what are you talking about?
You know, and he ended up spending time with his dad and his family that night. That is basically what happened. It is a week where there's going to be more family members who are going to come to the White House. I'm sure you'll see some of them on 4th of July. Many more are expected to be here.
No issue with family being in the White House. The question, though, would be, is he participating?
Your parents still walk in on you playing video games, you can't talk? Yeah. Guess what? I'm not in the White House, and I'm not letting their asses in the White House, and none of them are fucking convicted felons who, like, have become public enemy number one by the Republican Party. Like, what are we talking about?
Participating in meetings with senior advisors.
What I can say is that he came back with his dad from Camp David. He walked him into the speech prep, and he was in the room. That I can tell you, he was in the room. Anything else coming out of that reporting, I can't speak to, but I can say that, you know, he's close to his family, which is not unusual. They were together at Camp David. They came back together. You're going to see a lot more family this week.
Okay, Green. I want to go back to that question that Pelosi raised earlier today. Sure. Pelosi asked, Pelosi said it's a legitimate question to ask if this is an episode or this is a condition. Which one is it?
Well, what I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would not see this as an episode. I would see this as what it was and what we believe it to be, which is it was a bad night. And he did, on top of that, he had a cold. And that is the reality of the situation. That is the reality of what happened that night.
You've certainly seen the...
It's so funny to be like, oh, he just had one bad day. Like, how... Does anybody believe this at this point? I mean, I feel like this is another episode of failed manufactured consent. It's akin to claiming that Israel is the one that wanted to do a ceasefire, but Hamas is breaking it, you know? Like everybody with eyes can see that that is an abject lie. Okay? Oh, it's just a cold. He prepared too hard. He didn't prepare hard enough. He was jet lagged. It's like, oh, it's just one bad day. Shut the fuck up. I did read his time interview on stream. That was not one bad day. That was many, many bad days ago. The problem is we've been knowing that Biden is fucked up. Okay? Like we've been talking about Brandon's mental faculties being diminished for quite some time now. The problem is like a shit ton of Americans saw it in broad fucking daylight. Okay? That's the issue. Like a lot of Americans who are not paying attention, who just don't really give a shit one way or another, were like, yeah, I'll tune in. I'll tune in. I'll give it a peek. Let's see what this Brandon guy's been up to. How's he doing? Oh my God, he's out of control. What is going on? This dude's fucking brain is leaking out of his goddamn ear. Well, that's not exactly one bad day. We needed this version of Biden with a cold.
The government isn't a great achievement.
Damn, he is sexy ass. Dude, he's got that sexy voice. He's got that like sexy flu voice, dude. Yo, dude, this motherfucker needs to have a flu more often. He sounds like me on Instagram, dude. He's got the IG voice.
It's a bare minimum what we need to get done. But in these times, the bipartisan cooperation is worth recognition. So I want to thank Senators Schumer and McConnell and Speaker Pelosi for getting this done. Funding
being orange like the presidential version of red lightsaber. Yeah, here's Adam Conover's take on the matter. Adam ruining everything, including American elections. Friend of the show, Adam.
I simply do not understand how Joe Biden still thinks he can win this election. I mean, when you're running for office, there's two kinds of voters, right? There's your base. Those are the people who have your back no matter what. And then there's everybody else, the voters you need to convince. But you got to have your base, right? Well, my dad is a member of Joe Biden's base. He's a true blue Democrat. And he told me yesterday that after the debate, he no longer feels that Joe Biden can do the job of president. Not just beat Trump. He doesn't think that he can be president at all because he has declined that much. And you know what? Half of Democrats feel the same way and don't want Biden to be the nominee. This is the New York Times op-ed section from this week. Every single editorial in it is begging Joe Biden not to run. How are you supposed to win the presidency as a Democrat when you don't have the fucking New York Times on your side? I mean, when your own side is debating whether or not you should drop out, you've already fucking lost. I mean, read the writing on the wall, Joe. I simply do not understand.
Yeah, he's right. What Sammy is a protein bar. Dude, I brought to Croatia what I assume is an illegal amount of protein and zins. Like, whenever I go somewhere, if I'm not exactly certain that like I can have a steady flow of chicken breast, like I have to have all the supplementary shit. The amount of protein I brought in, I can open up a fucking GNC up in here. Okay? Like if they stopped me at customs, they literally would have been like, dude, what are you doing? Like this is illegal. Like this is like normally a normal amount of protein bars and a normal amount of protein snacks and a normal amount of protein supplements. That's fine. Like you brought so many, dude. I have like 8 Quest bars, like 5 legendary cinnamon rolls. Those are protein cinnamon rolls. 4 legendary Pop-Tarts. Those are protein Pop-Tarts. I have bags and bags. I think I have like more than 12 bags of Smart Sweets. So much. I have Quest chips. I have Twin Peaks protein chips or protein cheese puffs rather. I'm pretty sure I packed like 3,000 grams of protein with me. You won't poo for 3 weeks now? No, that's why I brought my fiber suppies too. I brought my fiber supplements as well, the Smart Sweets. Fiber suppies make me poop so easy. Be wary. Sugar alcohols can cause shrinkage of the cranium. Well, now we know why. Anyway, I think you saved my intestines next cup by recommending fiber supplements. I eat Smart Sweets. They are packed with fiber. Help me shit good. For the record, I love protein. Like, I love these protein bars and stuff. This is literally a treat that I look forward to. Maybe I'm weird, but I'm legitimately a fan of the brands that I recommend and consume. Is your Pelican case checked luggage? No. I made the Pelican case. Murat's Pelican case originally was massive and had to be checked in. I made the conscious decision to like make a new Pelican case with a lot of the stuff that he had bought me and made sure that that Pelican case was small enough that you can actually carry it on. Anyway, all right, let's get back to the Democratic governors reportedly holding a gripe session over Biden.
So Gavin Newsom at 56 years old has driven California into the ground. So this country would be falling apart if it was Gavin Newsom, if it was any of those other people on the call, Kamala Harris, you name them. Democrat policies are a failure. Republican policies win, which is why the country was so much better off under Donald Trump. And we need to be again, fingers crossed, God willing.
And Julie, but to this point, so the landscape is that the Biden team has refused to acknowledge the very prevalent questions about the president's mental acuity and fitness. We're sort of seeing almost a theatrical response, right?
Yes.
Oh, he's too pale here, he's too tan, right? We're seeing very discernible like things going into play. Okay, we're going to do this and do this. And then against that, we now have the Democratic governors that had a gripe session. That seems unprecedented. And yet when you look at what's happening in real life, there is a very large theater occurring surrounding the president. And now apparently Democrat governors have taken notice too.
Right.
Are they worried?
I don't know. I am. I mean, unlike Biden and Lisa, I've never gotten a spray tan. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't affect your mental ability and your cognitive ability. I mean, Lisa's always been very...
Damn, she's fucking cooking Lisa a little bit too, which is kind of messed up if you ask me. She's like, I don't know what that's like because I'm not a fake bitch like Lisa.
very sharp, whether she's pale or fake tan.
I agree.
I just don't understand what we can possibly trust. I think this really is just going to come down to trust. And he is like a ventriloquist, and he is not speaking his words. So what we are seeing in the White House and what we see every time he reads teleprompter, he no longer ad-libs. He no longer speaks off the top of his head, which is why that debate performance.
I'm sorry. I think it's fucking crazy to bring up stupid ass Lisa, who's like a fucking third stringer on the Fox News, when we're talking about spray tans, and not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is literally the king of getting spray tan. How the fuck are you going to shit on Lisa over here and not bring up Donald Trump? I feel like these guys have a literal contractual obligation not to disparage the fucking dear leader at any given moment, even by accident, even in fucking jest. That's crazy. These people criticizing Joe Biden for getting a fake tan is like the Democrats criticizing Republicans for being gay. Okay, I like, that's just their thing. You know what I mean? That's your thing. You're gay. You don't get to shit on the Republicans for being gay.
Is such a disaster. He was prepped for days. And when you have mental decline, cognitive decline, it's very hard to memorize all of that. So when he has to speak off the top of his head, Tyrus was just saying to me that he's like the Milli Vanilli of American presidents, because the words coming out of his mouth are not his words. And that's the person you want to elect for president? That's scary.
He's a teleprompter
Doctor,
president.
I want to get your thought on something specific, and it's about the canary in the coal mine. So it started with a while.
It's also funny because they were like begging Trump to read off the teleprompter because he's such a fucking animal when he's off of it. Milli Vanilli in 2024, boomer shit. Brother, every single person that's watching Fox News is 800 years old. They're literally Biden age, okay? And by the way, there's nothing more American than being a fat guy who makes fun of like other fat guys. And I suspect being old is the same. Like, they're sitting in the fucking retirement home blowing each other's backs out, okay? Grandma's getting her fucking back blown out in between sessions of Fox and Friends where they're talking about how fucking old Biden is, and they're like, yeah, he's so old. It's like, yo, put a fucking condom on, dude. You got like 8 different brands of syphilis. The fuck are you doing, Grandpa? Chill. I don't know why every single person throws up haws when I talk about like retirement homes fucking all the time. It's like an established fact. Okay, what do you mean what's wrong with you? I'm a motherfucking truth teller, bitch. What do you want? Yeah, old people fuck a lot, so much so, and they do it like without any protection whatsoever, because it's like they're firing blanks anyway, you know, or rather they're firing into blanks, I guess. So they don't actually get fucking tested, and they don't practice safe sex, so they just have like, they've like mutated new versions of gonorrhea and shit.
With, one late night comedy host saying like, guys, we need to shape up. We need to shape up with our policies, and this president's not cutting it. And now we've seen one by one, prominent Democrat Party officials or prominent spokespeople in the media that have started to raise serious questions, including CNN's Jake Tapper, who says there is a theater, a cover-up happening. What say you that the dominoes are falling?
Well, I think it's very disingenuous, and it's based on them thinking it's so obvious they better do something to show that they have integrity that they don't have, because this has been apparent for years. This isn't suddenly apparent now. To a medical eye, I've been talking about this for months and years. It's a cover-up campaign, and to your point, and to Julie's point earlier, it's being led by the Biden team. I mean, we can see that he's being led off stage. We can see that everything's read from a teleprompter. By the way, there's a long history of this in the White House, going back to FDR.
I love this guy fucking talking about it. It's like, bro, you're old too, man. Why is everybody on TV old? Am I crazy? I guess I'm old too, depending on who you're talking to. But goddamn, dude. It's just like, get some young people in here. How do you know this? Because I fucked your mom and your grandmom at the retirement home. That's how I know about it. Straight up. No disrespect.
To Woodrow Wilson, to Nixon, who was on 1 million medications. You know where this wasn't the case? It was not the case with President Trump, with Kayleigh McEnany in the White House. You walk in there.
That's also not true. President Trump's... Okay. Donald Trump is a Sudie boy, okay? He's a big-time Sudafed. He's a big-time English market Sudafed eater, all right? So the idea that he's not, like, you know, doing different kinds of drugs is silly. And not only does he do drugs, but his White House seemingly was filled to the brim with drugs in general. Like that one guy who ran for Congress in Texas and won. When it was the White House doctor, he was just prescribing barbiturates and shit, like going crazy mode. It was like, what do you want? Ketamine? I got you.
He talks extemporaneously. He's not reading off a teleprompter. I asked her when I interviewed him, does he need to see the question? She says, no, he just rip off the questions to him. That's what America is used to now. This is the exact opposite.
Bingo.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered.
We come to you with breaking news and a serious question. Have the floodgates opened? Reported just now, congressional reporter for The Hill has a letter from a Democratic congressman calling on President Biden to step aside. It is Congressman Lloyd Doggett, a Democrat from Austin, Texas.
I'm going to turn on the lights in this room. I feel like it's ugly. That's why I turned the lights off. But here, I'm going to show you.
He's calling on the president to step aside, making him the first Democratic lawmaker to make such an assertion. And the rationale, he states, is interesting. He goes on to say President Biden has continued to run substantially behind Donald Trump in the polls. That is what he cites. And it comes after there was a letter. There were vulnerable Democrats, according to Politico, that wanted to come together and write a letter about their concerns about President Biden. But they were stopped by other Democratic lawmakers who said, let's wait on the data, let's wait on the polls. And they ultimately, according to Politico, basically did not have the guts to run with the letter. But now, today, we have the first sitting Democrat from Congress calling on President Biden to step aside. Will there be more? Have the floodgates opened? We'll keep you updated. Now, America Reports.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.
And joining me now, we're pleased to have Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi join us. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for being here today.
Always a pleasure to be with you, Andrea.
So I guess the first question, we understand from our reporting, 4 different sources, that top leaders on the Hill have not yet had a call from the president. Have you spoken to President Biden since the debate?
No, I haven't spoken to him since the debate, but I have spoken to him regularly. And every time he has been on the top of his game in terms of knowing the issues and what is at stake. But we all have been in touch with people close to the president. So it's not a question of not having an opportunity to make our concerns known or have some questions answered. But I think we have to spend a little more time viewing what is at stake in this election. Today is the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. And what the Republicans are trying to do, the Trumpians and the court, is to undermine our democracy. Their Project 2025 would undo much of what is in the Civil Rights Act. What the court did with Roe v. Wade is very clear to people in terms of liberty and freedom.
Now they're talking about Project 2025, dude. Okay. Democrats woke up, dude. The man to fucking fight against Project 2025 is also 25 years old. Joe Brandon. Anyway, I feel like aesthetically it's better when it's dark. Am I crazy? I felt like it looked cooler when it was dark. No, this is more inviting. What? Wouldn't you want a vacation at this age? I am vacationing. This is my vacation. Lights off equals Omega. Oh no. I didn't think of that. You ain't wrong, brother. It's better with the lights on, actually. It's like you got a spray tan. No, it's called living in California and working outdoors and getting a natural tan. Even though I put sunscreen on, okay? Before you get mad at me, I do put sunscreen on. Address the all chat as purple. It's just on my laptop. I don't know why. I just have a weird filter on it. And I don't know how to fix it. Please, give me a break. Anyway, here's a Nancy Pelosi take that I think is very interesting. Nancy Pelosi sounding much less confident in Biden than she did just days ago post-debate does not bode well for damage control. Here's what she had to say about Biden. I think it's a legitimate question to say this is an episode. Is this an episode or is this a condition? Pelosi says on MSNBC when asked about Biden. But she says the question should be asked of both candidates and stresses Biden legislative accomplishments. Pelosi, it's going to be up to Joe Biden to do what he thinks. I'm not a doctor. I can't say what happens 3-4 years down the road. In my experience, he will continue to be a great president of the United States. Pelosi wants Biden to sit for interviews with serious journalists in wake of debate to reassure public. Yeah, not live though, and not contested. Edited shit. Okay, that's something that you got to remember. Biden will only be live in front of a teleprompter in a non-hostile room. Not one, maybe two. I think that's essential for them to do that. But remember, this part is very important. I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition? Like Nancy Pelosi even making inferences that this might be like a full-blown issue for Biden. Like this might legitimately be how Biden is, rather than simply say, it's just one bad day. It's just one bad debate. It's just one bad performance. Everybody calm down. I'm Nancy Pelosi. Like, because that's how she popped off. She popped out of the gates with that originally. The fact that she's even going back on that and saying like, no, it's legitimate for people to question the president's mental faculties. That's huge. That's a big change of pace. And on top of that, you have the Democratic governors holding a call yesterday afternoon. Just governors, no staffers, no one from campaign or White House, organized by Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota for the DGA. They're going to have a meeting with the governors, official meeting with the governors tomorrow, in all likelihood, probably mainly a Zoom. Anyway, he deleted the rest of the story and then fucking posted it on the CNN article because he's a bitch and he doesn't want to give us summaries for free. What an asshole. Also on top of that, here is what Representative James Clyburn said. Remember, this is another person. This is another person that was doing unconditional support for Brandon literally 2 days ago. Sunday. We watched this man on Sunday. Now he's saying, I will support Vice President Kamala Harris if President Joe Biden were to step aside. Representative Jim Clyburn said about the Biden-Harris campaign co-chair, he is Biden-Harris campaign co-chair, told Andrea Mitchell earlier on MSNBC. Sorry. That's crazy.
How would you...
Nancy Pelosi talking about, yeah, maybe there's some veracity to the claims that Joe Biden's mental faculties are not the best. And Jim Clyburn saying, yeah, if there was a replacement and it was Kamala Harris, I'd be on board with that. Those are two different aspects of this campaign. Those are two different weaknesses of Joe Biden. And those are two major allies of Joe Biden coming out and saying the exact opposite thing that they were saying prior.
How would you feel if there is a decision for him to step down, if he decides that, and he has to decide that? Or if the party pressures him to do that? How would you feel if...
Okay, she baited him, though. Like that, of course, if Joe Biden decides to drop out, he's going to say, like, yeah, I'd feel bad. But if he decides to drop out, then, I hope that he puts Kamala in charge or some shit. Like, that's normal to say.
They worked around and tried to go around Kamala Harris because of her lack of high poll numbers and popularity and broadly based. Do you think it's hers to have if it is not his?
I will support her if he were to step aside. But I want to support.
Yeah, here's the thing. You're saying a possible explanation for why the Dems circled the wagons around Joe immediately, only to go back on it less than a couple days ago. Yeah, I think the poll results that the internal polling that they had leaked. Notable nugget via Jay Heil. Signs of Biden actually dropping out are getting so thin that my new line is that Dems are only gratuitously circling the wagons around him, so it looks like it's his decision when he drops out. Here's the take. Biden, with his decades-long service in the upper chamber, still at the center of his political self-conception and his emotional core, might actually be more swayed by such a message from this contingent than any other. It would certainly mean more than hearing it from Obama or the Clintons, whose awareness of the resentments Biden harbors for them is part of the reason people close to them say that their statements of support came so quickly. They knew that silence would get Biden's hackles up and make him less open to entreaties from others. That is a wild assessment. Also, Hillary Clinton didn't say anything about Biden, if I recall correctly. It was Bill Clinton. And Bill and Obama are side by side playing a pivotal role in Biden's reelection. So I think this analysis isn't correct. Okay? Biden and Hillary Clinton despise one another, but Biden and Bill Clinton are aligned with one another, at least, especially with Barack Obama as well, especially in terms of the reelection campaign. They do reelection campaign fundraisers together. So I don't think that these guys are defending Biden because they think like, oh, if we don't defend Biden, like he'll get his guard up because he knows we hate him. Also, Bill Clinton is pretty much dead too, so it doesn't really matter what he says. I think the real damage here isn't necessarily this speculation, but the real damage is the poll numbers that just came out and the poll numbers that are going to continue coming out. Oh my God. White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients is holding an all-staff call tomorrow at 12:30 per email that just went out. Oh my God. What's going on? Is it Jover? Bro, why would this happen while I'm in Croatia, bro? I hate this so much. Oh my God. Hold it in for like a couple days, man. Dude, they're going to pop this off. Dude, there's no way they're popping this off on 4th of July. You can't fucking drop this like it's a Friday, dude. You can't drop this like a bad Supreme Court decision, okay? Or like bad legislation on a Friday afternoon, you know what I mean? July 4th being like, basically a Friday. They're nominating Biden early. Yeah, it could be that. Every time you go on vacation, shit like this happens. I know, dude. It's like, I know. Every time I'm like away from home for a day and a half, it's like I literally stream 365 days a year. And then the one fucking time I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll cave. I'll capitulate. I'll go on fucking vacation with the family. It's fine. I'll still end up streaming from vacation. I'll be running around Croatian islands with my fucking laptop in hand with internet speed test application on the one hand, my laptop on the other, trying to fucking see if I can like sit in a hotel lobby and see how well their internet service is. I'll do stuff like that. It's fine. And it's like still every time, dude, every time I decide like, sure, fuck it. Why not? I'll go. And I never want to. October 7 happened on your day off. Yeah, it did. I took one fucking day off to visit my brother. And October 7 happened. Literally. The Queen died while I was away. Yeah, while I was at fucking shit camp, the Queen died. Oh my God. You up to something, bro? I don't know, man. They literally, I know you got FOMO bad right now. Yes, dude, the Aussie boys are in my house with Kaya, playing around, having fun. And I'm out here fucking drinking Croatian tap water, dude. Like, what do you think? Yes, I'm a homebody, okay? I'm a homebody. I don't like leaving. I love working. And like, this is pain for me. This is torture. Everyone else's like fantasy is to be able to just like fuck off to Croatia, get a boat with your family. You know what I mean? Like, that's sick. For me, it's literally torture. I can't think of anything worse than this. You could also be having fun if you weren't a weirdo. Dude, what am I supposed to? It's 7 p.m. Also, you guys are pretty crazy with that. Like, it's 9:48 here, right? Like, what am I supposed to do, dude? What am I supposed to go to a fucking bar? I'm 33 years old. Like, yeah, let me go to some fucking random Croatian bar, dude, get fucked up so I can die for a week. Like I do the fun shit during the day. Okay. I do the fun shit during the day. And then once the day's over, I come and do more fun shit, which is streaming. I love streaming. You guys know this. Freaking the fuck out. Turmoil in the White House over Biden. Officials on President Biden's White House campaign staff say they're feeling rage, sadness, frustration, and resolve over his debate performance and his team's response to it. More than a dozen White House and campaign aides told Axios why it matters. Biden's performance at the debate has left many of his own aides worried about his mental fitness and angry about what they see as a lack of candor from Biden's senior aides. It's the first topic of every conversation, one White House official said. Senior leadership is giving us nothing. To act like it's business as usual is delusional. Oh my God. Their strategy is literally just going, la 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 la, no, la 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 la, I can't hear you, I can't see you, la 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 la, I can't hear you. No, what do you mean? Everyone is saying Biden is so old, like he's gonna die tomorrow. I don't know what you're talking about. What? I have not seen the reports. It's like, dude, at that point, you're just criminally negligent, okay? You are so goddamn negligent. Hasan, are you on Korkula or Miljet? Why do you ask, brother? What do you want to do? You want to come find me? Extend your vacation? Maybe we can get McConnell too. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It's not shit that I want. It's unpredictable. It's random. Yeah, I saw this article. It's really bad. Are you afraid of the Croatian Catholic fascists? No. Biden is stuck in a golf cart in the hallway and his staff is like, he's got it under control. It's just... I'm sorry. What the fuck are we doing? I know I've said this quite a bit, but like, really, what are we doing? We did this with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and like, obviously it was a massive mistake. We did this with Dianne Feinstein, and obviously that was a massive mistake. And we're currently doing it with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Like, what is happening here? This is basically the classic Democratic Party gambit, just like, have a guy who's decrepit, have a guy who has 1 foot, or a gal, 1 foot out the door, be in a pivotal role, okay? Be in a genuinely, unimaginably important role that will have fissures. If he just fucking perishes as Father Time decides, it's over, you know? Your time has come. What kind of psychopathic nonsense is this? I can't... Like, what are we doing, man? How many times does it have to happen? How consequential does a death have to be for the Democratic Party to be like, yeah, next time there's like a 75-year-old dude who like has a cough, we need to cut him out. Okay? I'm serious. Like, what are we doing here? What is this song and dance where it's like, no, you're going to fucking vote for this cadaver, dude. Shut the fuck up. Ay, ay, ay. And then the alternative... The other problem here is that this is a revamp of 2016, where you got the Democratic base of support saying like, yeah, we don't like this other guy. We don't like this other guy. This other guy is fucking crazy. We don't really like him at all. But we don't like our guy either, you know? And the DNC is like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You are going to vote for him and you are going to fucking like it. Suck my dick, dude. Suck my fucking dick. You're going to vote for the Dems. And if you don't, we're going to say you love Donald Trump. If you don't vote for the Democratic Party, guess what, sweetie? You're responsible for fascism. Lick our fucking boots and then thank us for the privilege. Oh my God. Incredible work. Congratulations to everyone involved, you know? Let's get back to this fucking dipshit.
We're going forward at some time in the future. I want this ticket to continue to be Biden-Harris. And then we'll see what happens after the next election. No. This party should not in any way do anything to work around Ms. Harris. We should do everything we can to bolster her, whether it's in second place or at the top of the ticket.
Congressman, how would you feel if there is a decision for him to step down, if he decides that, and he has to decide that? Or if the party pressures him to do that, how would you feel if they worked around and tried to go around Kamala Harris because of her lack of high poll numbers and popularity and broadly based? Do you think it's hers to have if it is not his?
Oh my God. Anyway, lack of charisma too. CNN post-debate poll. Trump up 6 points on Biden. Trump up 2 points on Harris. Harris is beating Biden. Trump up 5 points on Newsom. Trump up 4 points on Buttigieg. Trump up 5 points on Whitmer. Okay? Brandon, Newsom, Buttigieg, and Whitmer are, you know, polling around the same. It's crazy. Yeah, we're going to talk about RFK eating a dog. Adam Frisch, Democratic nominee in CO03, calls on Biden to drop out. That's another Democrat. We got more RFK shit. New general election poll. We saw that already. Hunter Biden is joining White House meetings as he stays close to the president post-debate because the Democrats want to lose. And then the leaked polling that we just showed, showing that my man is cooked, like really bad, cooked up something fierce. Hakeem Jeffries is starting to break away. Whoa. What's happening with my... Oh, Julie, why is he up so much on Whitmer? Bro, nobody knows who the fuck Gretchen Whitmer is, dude. What are you talking about? These people don't have any fucking name recognition. Speaking of dog, what is Kaya watching? She has this face. Bro, my internet is so slow. What is happening right now? Look at this download speed, dude. Croatian internet is fierce. Like, I feel like I need to play like the dial-up noise here. I feel like by the time the top of the hour ad break passes, like maybe the full fucking photo will actually load up. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Croatia didn't get the upgrade. They're still, at least they have more than one computer in the country, you know, unlike Poland. I don't even know how I'm capable of serving the 3-minute ad break right now. John Talk, thank you for the 9 gifted subs, allowing non-people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. I don't even know how I'm capable of serving the top of the hour ad breaks because like the internet is so busted here. Shut the fuck up, plastic Muslim. What does that even mean, dude? Yeah, Jeff Zients is doing a all hands for all the staff in the White House tomorrow at 12:30. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has asked candidates in close races to see how the next several days play out before speaking their minds. His message to donors, according to 4 people familiar with his comments, is that they should invest in the House. Holy moly. That's a... Dude, this is actually... Joe Manchin threatened to break with Biden before senior Democrats intervened. Yeah, by the way, fuck Joe Manchin. Him breaking... Listen, Joe Manchin breaking away from the Democrats? Oh my God, what else is new, dude? Yeah, water is wet. Like, oh, I'm shocked. Oh my God, Joe Manchin. What? The biggest fucking spoiler of all time for the Democratic Party? He literally left the Democratic Party. Who gives a fuck if he's actually... breaking with Biden? He was talking about how he's going to run as a third party against Biden on the normalcy ticket or whatever dumb fucking donor backed initiative he was going to go after. I fucking hate Joe Manchin. I do not give a fuck what Joe Manchin has to say. I despise him, and I will say this more than I hate the Republican Party, okay? And you know how much I fucking hate the Republican Party. But god damn, do I have extra smoke for Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, okay? Those motherfuckers, dude. Joe Lieberman under the Obama administration, okay? Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin under the Biden administration. Those motherfuckers are worse than the Republicans because they are the constant, consistent spoilers in the Democratic Party that move the conversation away from Republicans being spoilers, away from Republicans being obstructionists, and move the conversation into Democratic incompetence. Move the conversation back into the Democratic Party. Like, we don't even have a conversation about the Republicans trying to stop the Biden agenda at every step of the fucking way because we're too busy trying to give them massive fucking layups, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, massive layups, only for them to turn around and fucking spit in the faces of the people who gave them massive fucking legislative layups. I hate them. I despise them. I despise the Democratic Party for not whipping them. You know, if it takes 60 votes in the Senate to bypass the filibuster, why are Sinema and Manchin relevant? Bro, what filibuster? What are we talking about? Not a single Republican is ever going to vote for anything the Democrats are putting forward. That's number one. But like beyond that, we're talking about fucking budget reconciliation. Shit that's like pure majority. And even on that front, not Republicans, sorry. I can't believe I call them Republicans because they are. You got a couple Democrats who always play the role of the rotating villain, turning around and deliberately cooking the books. What is this? Letting Kaya watch Hasan the Hun stream because he misses him so much? I miss her so much. It's not even a joke. She wants to stream just like Daddy. Anyway, let's take a look at this New York Times reporting. In interviews, people in the room with Biden more recently said that the lapses seem to be growing more frequent, more pronounced, and more worrisome. Deeply irresponsible to keep him as a candidate, says Shashank Joshi, defense editor at The Economist. Joining advisors at Camp David for rehearsals, the debate preparations, which took place over 6 days, never started before 11 a.m., and Mr. Biden was given time for an afternoon nap each day. What the? Yo, he's napping, dude? I'm Maggie Haberman, and I'm here to talk about binky time. What Joe Biden calls binky time, and how presidential that actually is. Who amongst us does not want to live like a eepy little baby? Well, for the leader of the free world, being a eepy little baby is a part of the job. Bro, what do you mean, dude? You have to kill people at this point, okay? You have to pull a Donald Trump and be like, who are the leakers? We're prosecuting them harder than fucking Chelsea Manning, okay? Who are the leakers leaking this information? Oh no, they're writing in the fucking gray lady that I'm doing nap time, dude. No, lock that shit down. Who is leaking this stuff, man? That's so bad. I got immunity. I'm going to start assassinating staffers. What the fuck do you mean he's doing nap time, dude? That's in the paper of record, chat. The paper of record said you're EP, bro. They said you're doing nap time. What are you, dude? Are you Italian? Are you Spanish? No nap time for you. No siestas, motherfucker. You're American. Where's that Protestant work ethic? Oh, yeah, he is Catholic. There you go. There you have it. What do you think this is? Greece? You can't be fucking napping in the middle of the day, bro. What are you talking about? We got an economy here. Motherfucker thinks it's Europe out here. That's crazy. The Pope naps? Yeah, that's the Pope, bro. He's Argentinian and basically Italian. When you become the Pope, you automatically become Italian. The recent moments of disorientation generated concern among advisors and allies. He seemed confused at points during the D-Day anniversary. The next day, he misstated the purpose of the new tranche of military aid to Ukraine when meeting with its president. As of Sunday, Mr. Biden had granted fewer interviews than any president of the modern era and fewer news conferences than any president since Ronald Reagan, according to statistics compiled by Martha Kumar, a scholar of presidential communication. Now, Ronald Reagan also didn't give a lot of interviews because he also had Alzheimer's. Like, his second term, he literally had dementia, okay? So, yeah, that's the reason why he wasn't doing a lot of interviews, because he was also an EP baby. Holy shit. In Normandy, he met former soldiers brought to France by a veterans group. One American who attended said Mr. Biden's eyes seemed glazed, and it appeared that people had to lead him. A senior European official said there had been a noticeable decline in Mr. Biden's physical state since the previous fall, and that the Europeans had been shocked by what they saw. The president at times appeared out of it, the official said. Bro, this is some Dark Souls shit. This is actually from software lore. Like, I'm telling you, the cadaver molester is like typical Miyazaki boss shit, dude. He's just like a rotting carcass. And like they carry him around and he's like this elder god, this elder demigod that has to keep being in charge, okay? This is fucking, what was the name? The Defiler? Not Margit, the other one. Like, the Malarkey Dung Eater. No, not Dung Eater. Anyway, the loathsome Dung Eater. The RFK Jr. dog picture is going to be debunked later today or tomorrow. The telltale floating 13th rib, the magazine claims, is in the pig is literally not visible. Sucks, I know. What if it's a dog that actually removed one of his ribs so he could suck his own dick like Marilyn Manson? That's right. I bet you never thought about that. Why did you say that? I don't fucking know. Because I've been up since like 5 a.m., okay? And it's actually 10 p.m. here, and I'm fucking tired. I'm eepy. I need a nappy poo like I'm the president, okay? That's why. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the ride, you know what I mean? Buckle in, dude. I'm saying some unhinged ass shit. This is HasanAbi After Dark, baby. I know over there it's only 1:10. So in your mind, you're like, what the fuck? This is like literally peak HasanAbi hours. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the pocket right now. I'm locked in. I'm here for some news and commentary. I'm not expecting him to talk about a dog removing his ribs surgically to suck their own penis like Marilyn Manson. But here we are. Okay? Here we fucking are, baby. My misophonia is having a hard time with your stream today. Is it? Is your misophonia having a hard time with the stream today? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the stream is not up to your expectations every day. Boo, I'm sorry that I'm fucking halfway across the world and still giving you enough commentary and content, but sometimes you hear my lip smacking. I have honestly spoiled you motherfuckers too much, okay? You hear one lip smack and you're like, bro, what is happening? I'm gonna fucking kill myself now. Anyway, there's been zero audio issues. The fuck is Chatter talking about? Yeah. I tweeted this in 2020. It's nap time for Biden now. What did he know, dude? What did he know? Why are you looking so brolic every day lately? Because I am brolic, dude. I'm brolic as a motherfucker. Also, the reason why I get so annoyed with the misophonia shit is because, like, I do take extra initiative. Like, I take extra fucking initiative. Anyway, Ludwig put you in his latest thumbnail, but praised Ludwig in his video. Fucking asshole, dude. Ugopnik put you in his latest thumbnail, but praised Ludwig in his video. Dead to me. All right. Anyway, Maloney and other leaders were acutely sensitive to Biden's physical condition, discussing him privately. When they worried that he did not seem poised and cameras were around, they closed ranks around him physically to shield him while he collected himself. Not good, I think. Not good at all. Anyway, Zoomers are making edits instead of voting. Well, one day I'll find out what the Zoomers are editing, you know? What is happening? Jesus Christ. Reality check. Part of Biden's team sees the debate as just one bad night that will blow over and points out that many of the president's critics previously have counted him out when he faced challenges. I hate this fucking narrative, dude. Our boy is a big time loser. Okay? But like sometimes he just gets carried pretty fucking hard across the finish line is not the argument that you want to make for your, for your current situation. One longtime Biden aide told Axios, Davos Dems love to hedge their bets against us and get hysterical like they did in 2019. And just like after 2020, they will come back in their DNC convention lanyards in their hands, begging for Christmas party invitations and then for a +1. What they're saying, Axios granted several Biden officials anonymity to describe the atmosphere in the White House and on the campaign in the days since the debate. One Biden confidant told Axios, for everyone who really cares about Biden and his legacy, the debate was just painful to watch. It's dark, said an official involved in the campaign. It feels like there's zero leadership or information. People are being told to keep their heads down and keep working. But they're not seeing the president or being given any reason why they should have faith in him. What they're saying, Axios granted several Biden officials anonymity to describe the atmosphere in the White House and on the campaign in the days since the debate. One Biden confidant told Axios, I just read that. Holy shit. Campaign spokesperson Kevin Munoz told Axios, campaigns are hard. No one came here under any other illusion, but I can personally tell you there's a fire lit under all of us, and that keeps us going every day. Dude, if you lit a fire under Biden's ass, he would just die, okay? He wouldn't even recognize what was happening. He would just fucking die. He's old. That's it. I have no other commentary on this. Oh my God. There's only so much. The reason why I mention this is because there's only so much you can do as an aide, okay? Unless you know how to reverse time, it's just not going to happen. Most hinged liberal response to Biden's age. Well, that's a Jen, I dissent Ruben. Hindenburg is too old, said some Germans before electing a monster. The Germans elected Hindenburg in the 1932 presidential election with 53% of the vote, beating Hitler's 36.7%. Hindenburg won the presidential elections at 84 years of age. Despite this, he was unable to prevent and is partially responsible for the Nazis' rise to power. Yeah, like, does Jennifer Rubin not know that World War II happened? Like this tweet only makes sense if you literally did not know that Hitler came to power regardless, right? Like, at that point, voting for Hindenburg or Joe Biden doesn't change anything. You're admitting what many people recognize. What is happening here? Also, I can't tell, but I feel like my chat is so delayed right now. What is going on? People are still talking about jokes about like lighting a fire under Joe's ass and shit. And another turkey goal. Okay. That's awesome. Turks need this right now. Others on Biden's team weren't so down and were waiting to see what the president would do next. Yeah, because they're fucking careerist, soulless monsters. Anyway, here's Hunter Biden joining the White House meeting as he stays close to the president post-debate.
Breaking news. We're now learning that Hunter Biden is attending some of the president's meetings at the White House, staying close to his father post-debate. NBC's Monica Alba is reporting from Washington, D.C. What more can you tell us, Monica?
Well, these are new details coming into our team, Chris, along with my colleagues, Kristen Welker, Mike Memley, and Sarah Fitzpatrick. We have learned from sources familiar with the situation at the White House that Hunter Biden has been by his father's side ever since they were at Camp David this weekend as a family, where they had some discussions about the president's potential path forward here and his reelection campaign, and that since he returned from Camp David last evening with his father, we understand that Hunter Biden has even joined some meetings and conversations that have taken place between the president and some of his most senior advisors and senior staff. And while we should note that it's not unusual for Hunter Biden to be at the White House, to be in the residence, to be attending certain White House events, which we have certainly seen time and time again over the last 3.5 years, where we have seen photos of him and where he has appeared in public, it is unusual, according to the people we spoke with, for him to be participating at this level and to have the sort of regularity of some of these contacts and conversations with senior staff. We understand, again, since returning yesterday from Camp David, where they were more huddled as a family, to now as the president.
Like, they have to be trying to lose, I think. I just don't understand the play here. They're like, hey, a lot of this Hunter Biden stuff on the Republican side is basically a dud, right? Why is it a dud? Because who the fuck is Hunter Biden? Who gives a shit what the president's son's doing? His proximity to the White House is non-existent, right? So what do the Democrats do? They bring him to the White House in closed-door meetings with staffers. Like, are you trying to fucking validate Republican conspiracies? It doesn't even matter if they're still untrue, by the way. What matters is the optics, okay? And honestly, I'm no, like, you know, I'm not the biggest fucking optics Andy, but god damn, dude, what do you have? You're the Democratic Party. Optics is all you have. And you're dropping the ball on that shit too. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, reports are coming in that Hunter Biden is relapsed at the White House in a closed-door meeting where he took his dick out and had a gun, the same revolver that he threw in the trash famously. He picked it back up and he was saying, who wants to ride Hunter's Biden? And he's got a laptop. He was filming it on his laptop, dude. He's doing crack and he's filming it on his fucking laptop. How do we know about this? He left the laptop with the same blind computer repair person. Again, we don't even know how this is possible.
It has resumed some of his more traditional meetings at the White House with those key advisors.
Ay. America is definitely seeing some weird fucking politics lately. I don't know. Shit is weird, man. That's all I can say here. I know that's not the most poignant political commentary, but like, shit's getting fucking weird, dude. Shit's getting real weird. All right, so you have this photo apparently from Vanity Fair. Is this actually from Vanity Fair? Who the fuck is this? Okay, I don't know about the accuracy of this photo. It seems a little crazy. Unless it's directly in the article itself. It's some random fucking Democrat DNC spokesman whose job is to hold third-party candidates accountable for the Democrats. And I feel like that's what he's doing. He's holding RFK accountable for eating dog. I believe it's a goat. Yeah, they're just digging for dirt, which is so funny because, like, digging for dirt, just let him speak, bro. He will fucking dirty himself all day. Look at this.
I am not a church boy. I am not running like that. I said I had a very, very rambunctious.
What is this? When asked about the allegations that RFK Jr. sexually assaulted his then 20-year-old babysitter, his answer, I'm not a church boy. I said there are skeletons in my closet. And then he refused to comment. This is from the Vanity Fair article. The fall of 1998, the Kennedys hired a 23-year-old woman, Eliza Cooney, as a part of their part-time babysitter. She was a recent college graduate interested in working in environmental causes and had looked out to Carrie and Max's children, Hyannisport, that summer. That name is crazy. Hyannisport? Cooney moved in with Bobby and Mary's family home in Mount Kisco, New York, taking care of the kids and assisting Bobby at his environmental law clinic at Pace University during the week. One night, Cooney attended a meeting in the family kitchen with Kennedy and another young riverkeeper volunteer named Murray Fisher to discuss business when she felt Kennedy's hand moving up and down her leg under the table. She tried making sense of the incident in her diary, which I have read. In an entry dated November 7th, 1998, she wrote, "From everything everybody says about the Kennedys plus their babysitters, they have me worried. Like I have to watch out, be careful. And the other night in the kitchen with Murray, I could have sworn he was touching my leg and hand. It seems like he thought I was somebody else or wasn't paying attention. Like he would come to every once in a while and snap out of it, or I would move away. It was like he was on something, or really tired, or was missing Mary, or testing me. In the back of my mind, I was hoping it wasn't what it actually was," says Cooney, now 48. Reached for comment. Fisher says he worked closely with Cooney and liked her, but wasn't aware of the alleged experiences with Kennedy at the time and feels bad for her. Weeks later, she discovered Kennedy standing in her bedroom. She saw that in her diary, which chronicled her daily activities and detailed her romantic life with a boyfriend, was open next to the bed, and she was shocked when a shirtless Kennedy, then 45, asked her to rub lotion on his back. "I thought, isn't Mary home?" She recalls. Oh, that's not Kennedy. That's what she said. "Doesn't she do this for you?" "She did it reluctantly and quickly. It was totally inappropriate," she says, adding that she stopped recording these experiences in a journal, fearing Kennedy would read them. A few months later, Cooney says she was riffling through the kitchen pantry for her lunch after a yoga class, still in her sports bra and leggings, when Kennedy came up behind her, blocked her inside the room, and began groping her, putting her hands in her hips and sliding them up along her ribcage and breast. "My back was to the door of the pantry, and he came up behind me," she says, describing the alleged sexual assault. "I was frozen, shocked." He was interrupted by a worker who entered the kitchen to announce his presence. The man, according to Cooney, said something like, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do," or "Don't do anything you wouldn't want your wife to know about." Cooney stayed on the job for a few months, but says the experience damaged her confidence and diverted her from environmental work. I mean, dude, honestly, this doesn't matter for RFK voters. Like, they're cranks anyway. Like, RFK's base of support is literally the crankiest. And those guys literally think, like, they like it. They straight up like it when their candidate is, like, done some shit like this. Because in their minds, they think, like, oh, the media's coming after them because they're truth tellers. I'm telling you right now. You discuss this with the average RFK voter, they will literally be like, oh no, they're doing that because they're Me Tooing him because he's good. I'm going to vote for him extra hard. Anyway, Cooney kept these incidents secret until the Me Too movement began in 2017 when she first told her mother, Holly. Was I horrified? Of course. Was I surprised? Not really. And not because of the Kennedy name, as much as knowing what the culture was, especially in the world of privilege. Holly Cooney told me, I remember when we talked about it first time, she was agonizing over how public she felt when she was ready to go. In the spring of 2023, after Kennedy announced he was running against Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination, she told two close friends and a lawyer, Elizabeth Geddes, who had prosecuted the rapper R. Kelly Geddes, suggested Cooney could still bring a civil suit against Kennedy under the Adult Survivors Act. But Cooney ultimately decided against it. His candidacy for president impelled her to share her story publicly now. When asked about the fucking question, this is what he said.
I am not a church boy. I am not running like that. I had a very, very rambunctious youth. I said in my announcement speech that I have so many skeletons in my closet that if they could all vote, I could run for king of the world. Mm-hmm. So, this Vanity Fair is recycling 30-year-old stories, and I'm not, going to comment on the details of any of them, but I am who I am.
You're talking there about the nanny situation. I mean, I do have to ask her. I mean, are you denying it or not?
I'm not going to comment on it.
All right. Well, I gave you the opportunity.
I am not a church boy.
I mean, he's not denying it, bro. He's owning it. He says, like, yeah, I was horny, big dog. What are you going to do about it? Have you seen my last name? It says Kennedy right there, bitch. Like, don't you know we're catatonically horny? No hate, but there's absolutely no way the American public could listen to that for 4 years. I mean, dude, yes, hate. What is this? You think Aaron Rupar is so funny with his copium? You think Biden's having a bad news cycle? RFK Jr.'s on Fox News answering questions about a photo of him with what appears to be a barbecued dog. It's like, bro, he could literally be like, yes, I ate dog penis specifically because it like gives me stronger erections, and his base of support would eat that shit up. They would eat that shit up, and then they'd start eating dog penises. Okay, they are not running on the same playing field, man. Aaron, the fuck are you doing? Like, his audience loves that shit, dude. Are you stupid, brother? RFK Jr., one of his first most public moments after announcing his candidacy was immediately going on Fox News and being like, I have been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane many times, and we are great friends, and we did archaeology together alongside Ghislaine Maxwell, whom I also love very much. Like that was his first move. Political analysts could not comprehend it. They were like, what? Like, you came out of the gates with a fucking Jeffrey Epstein was my friend shit? Like, what does that mean? Is this good? Turns out for his audience, yes, they love that shit, which is always so funny to me when conspiracy theorists love voting for a guy who just is like directly involved in the types of conspiracies that they would understandably be, peeved by. Like, it's so strange. It's also a classic where it's like, oh yeah, they found child pornography on his fucking hard drives. Oh, he must have been a brave truth teller. It wasn't because he was fapping to it. You know what I mean? It's because the FBI planted it, dude. Oh my God. It just seems to keep happening to libertarians who also unironically advocate to abolish age of consent. But I'm sure it was like a FBI plant situation. Is this going to be a K-Hive stream soon? Fuck yeah, baby. Breaking news. Tucker Carlson reports that Joe Biden is keeping... Wait, what do you mean breaking news? You can't say breaking news and then say Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson does not break news. He breaks minds, but he does not break news. Tucker Carlson is not a journalist. He was not a journalist at Fox News. He was not a journalist at CNN. He was always a commentator. Okay? Like, you can't... I don't break news. Okay? I never go breaking news and act like I'm doing original reporting. Okay? Breaking news. Tucker Carlson made some shit up. Ridiculous. Oh, yeah. Here. Here. You know what? Now that we did the RFK Jr. hour, okay? Breaking news. Urgent scientists. This is my original reporting. Breaking news. HasanAbi original reporting. Urgent. Scientists whose previous work included directed energy beam research for the U.S. intelligence community said Biden's symptoms during the CNN debate made him think of the Havana syndrome. This is according to former KGB spy Yuri Shvets, who defected to the U.S. in 1993.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID.
Bro, your performance was so fucking bad. They're literally saying you might have gotten hit with a Havana syndrome laser. Like, that's awesome. That's how bad he was. This is like when chatters come in here and they're like, Hasan, be honest. Like, are you doing steroids? It's like, thank you so much for saying that. You think that I'm that fucking buff. I'm not, but thank you. I'll take the compliment. It's like the reverse of that. You know what I mean? These guys are like, oh no, he doesn't suck shit, dude. It was Havana syndrome. Yeah, he was just that bad, specifically because of Havana syndrome.
With dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
When you get knocked down, you get back up. I know what it took to take our economy from the depths of the pandemic to where it is today, the strongest economy in the world.
Making sure that we're able to make every single
Yeah, must have been Havana syndrome. As absurd the theory may seem on the surface, it must be taken seriously, especially because Biden appeared like a completely different person before and after the debate. He may have had a cold, but that does not explain his symptoms during the debate. Yuri Shvets said his source told him an energy beam could be precisely directed towards a person's brain from a significant distance. Bro, dude, oh brother, this is... His shit was so busted. People are literally fucking relitigating old conspiracy theories. That's crazy, brother. That is so cooked. Holy moly. He's so bad. He is so fucking unimaginably cooked. Shvets, a former KGB. This guy's going off on the Shvets guy. Having a Shvets. A former KGB spy who was based in Washington, D.C. during the 80s does not believe in coincidences. And the fact that Russia's 76 government plane landed in the U.S. on June 27th before the debate and then left after the fact on June 29th could further suggest foul play. Russia made Biden old. Russia took Biden to the beach that makes you old. Come on, Hasan. What are the odds that an 81-year-old man who has been visibly declining for a decade looked old? It had to be the KGB. No, it had to be the FSB, bro. He's saying that a former KGB double agent is leaking the secrets about Havana syndrome. And this guy is literally saying that this Russian jet beamed Biden somehow. Yeah, they brought him in. They brought this Russian jet in specifically so that the Sukhoblyats in there could fucking beam Biden with the old Ray. He was so dynamic beforehand. It's pretty crazy to think about how old he seems now. Because, like, I remember before when he looked like he shit his pants over and over again at every media appearance, I was thinking that is a young guy. That's a guy who I think could lead the nation for not just like the next 4 years, but how about next 40 years? Damn you, Putin. Damn you, Pooter. How could you do this? How could you do this to our Brandon? He was so visibly young and virile. He was blowing Jill Biden's back out. You did this to our boy. It's Russian interference that he seems old and not because he's 854 years old. That's so good.
For women, what they did this week was
Pootler. He did it again. Look, see, he's hitting Nancy Pelosi with the same beam. Chat, what? Nancy Pelosi, another young woman, okay? Young, bold, brave, beautiful, intelligent, okay? Coherent, clear, sane. These are words that I love saying about Nancy Pelosi in no particular order. And yet here she is on MSNBC, seemingly getting hit with the ray that makes you old. That's right. Who won't Russia hit with this beam? I don't know. Someone needs to look into it.
so undermining of the democracy, so dangerous in terms of a particularly dangerous part of it is they said that official acts cannot be used as testimony in unofficial investigations or trials. This is very dangerous. This is the week of the 4th of July. I always like to use temporal markers. Civil Rights Act today, 4th of July this week. A time when our founders, our visionaries had such a vision for the future that was about a democracy, not a king. And what they did this week was to make it an imperial presidency. And the beat goes on with their Project 25. So let's keep an eye on what is at stake and how important this election is. In elections, look, I've had every role. I've been the chair of the Democratic National Convention. I've been the chair in another convention of the delegate selection process. I've been the chair of the California Democratic Party. I know how this all works. And again, we have a great president with a great record. It's up to him as we go forward. But as we go forward, it isn't unusual for people to question strategy, tactics, and the rest in a campaign.
Well, let me dial back for a moment. Given your perspective and many Democrats' perspective of what is at stake, that it's an existential moment for the country, according to your perspective, if Donald Trump is elected. That would posit that you have to have the most important campaign led by the most important nominee. And do you have questions as to whether this was a one bad night or whether there is something more serious involved and whether he needs to be more open?
Why doesn't she run for president? She seems more lucid than Biden. Nancy Pelosi is probably one of the least popular, like historically unpopular representatives in the House. What are you talking about? She's like public enemy number one. You're out of your fucking mind, dude. That'd be really funny if she ran.
More open about if he does have a medical condition, if he is slipping, everybody knows there's an age issue, and he certainly did the opposite of reassuring people with that high risk, potentially high reward debate plan that they came up with. It backfired.
Well, you asked me to speak from my experience, and my experience with Joe Biden is that in all the legislation that we passed to save the country with the rescue package, money in people's pockets, shots in their arms, children in school, people back to work, with the child tax credit, with the issues that were in the infrastructure bill, rebuilding the infrastructure of America in a very universal way where people can participate in those decisions. The TRIPS and Science Act to make us self-sufficient in the world, the PACT Act to honor the service of our veterans and help those who may have been affected by burn pits. The list goes on, and then the IRA. So we have all these things that he was masterful in helping to orchestrate, to write, and to pass. So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking in the rest. He has a bad night. Now, again, I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition? And so when people ask that question, it's completely legitimate of both candidates. Because what we saw on the other side was a lying of Justin. You know, I tore up his speech when he lied to the Congress on every single page of his State of the Union. We should be tearing up what he said the other day because it was a pack of lies. And it's very hard to debate somebody when you have to undo or debunk everything they're saying.
Yeah, it's very hard to shift the focus of attention onto Donald Trump lying when everyone knows he's a liar. Okay? And he was president as a liar. Whereas, like, at least the media was running this narrative that Biden wasn't old. And now everyone knows Biden is old. You know, when I was just voting for president of America, be like, pick one. Oh my God, my internet is so bad.
But again, I think both candidates owe whatever test you want to put them to in terms of their mental acuity and their health. Both of them.
Well, arguably, President Biden should have been prepared for the kinds.
Yo, people are so annoying. They keep saying close some tabs. Brother, I have 4 tabs open. What the fuck are you talking about? Close some tabs. This is not a calculator, okay? This is a fucking laptop. I have 4 tabs open, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Close some tabs. Are you insane? No, it's just my internet sucks. There's not anything I can do. My upload is fine. My download is just ass cheeks. I'd rather have it be like that, though.
Of lies that he says and that we've also reported that Donald Trump says, and all the fact-checking is that there were at least 30 lies and not answering questions and pivoting back to immigration whenever he could. So there's no question about that. I'm going to, you know.
Yeah, but there's no fact-checking in real time. There's no fact-checking in real time. And that's what the problem is.
No
I
argument
myself
there.
never gone on a stage with him because that's who he is.
Let me just say, President Biden should have been prepared for that. Now, we have a little bit of a satellite delay, so I apologize for that, Madam Speaker. But at this point, there's no one who knows the donor community better than you. You're the best. You're a legendary fundraiser. There's no one who knows the convention rules better than you. So I've got to ask you, what are you hearing from your large network of people about whether he is up to it?
I hear mixed. Some people are saying because Donald Trump is such an authoritarian, an autocrat, we have to win this election. This is not a normal election where you want to win. If you don't, you cooperate and do the best you can for the country and hope to win the next time. This is something that is...
Bro, she said mixed. That's not good at all. You're supposed to lie there, Nancy. You're supposed to be like, oh, everyone is in unison. They collectively fucking love that Biden is 800 years old. They think there is no problem. $127 million, baby. Remember that. Remember that. He raised that money. Remember the money that he raised? Things are great. Please.
It is undermining our democracy, and he must be stopped. He cannot be president. So therefore, people are very concerned. So it's split. Some are like, well, how can we subject the process to what might be possible? And others are, Joe's our guy. We love him. We trust him. He has vision, knowledge, judgment, integrity. The other guy has none of the above. And of course, great empathy for the people. So it is. It's going to be up to Joe Biden to do what he thinks is. There is no more patriotic person in our country than the president.
Yo, this is bad. Nancy Pelosi 2 days ago gave an expected answer. Oh, it's a fluke. Oh, he had one bad night. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, think about his track record. Nancy Pelosi 2 days later. Well, there's mixed reviews. It's perfectly valid for people to ask the question, is this a one-off or is this a permanent condition? That is a genuine sea change. That is actually an unimaginable, because politicians are not going to come out of the gate swinging, okay? Especially politicians like Nancy Pelosi, okay? This is a lifetime politician. This is emeritus House Speaker, right? She is a major leader in the Democratic Party for a very long time. So a person like that is never going to go on Andrea Mitchell and be like, Joe Biden's old as shit. He needs to fucking die, right? She's not going to say that. But basically, when she says something in a 2-day time frame, when she goes from Joe Biden's fucking doing great, shut up everybody, to yeah, there's mixed reviews actually, and maybe it's valid to question whether this is a long-term thing or if it's a one-off. That is basically akin, in my assessment, of Nancy Pelosi coming out and be like, you got to drop out, dude. What the fuck are we doing? Now, the reason for why this change in attitude, I do not believe he saw Joe Biden fucking sundown or whatever. I believe that she has seen Joe Biden sundown before. I think that there is real discontent within the rank and file, but more importantly in the rank and file, because there's only one group of people that American politicians care about. It's not the voters. It's not the, party politicians. It's the donors. That's right. Chatters already know. It's the motherfucking donors. I suspect Nancy Pelosi is hearing from donors about their discontent with Joe Biden's candidacy, their discontent with Joe Biden's mental faculties. I think that's what's going on. And the media loves a good meta. Good. They love a good meta. Okay. And right now, unfortunately for Joe Brandon, the meta is Joseph Robinette Biden is old as shit and his mental faculties are not what it seems or are not what the media has represented them as for the longest time. And that's why there's a massive pylon of people now openly stating, I think this is fucked up. I think he's too old. I think he needs to drop out. And I think that the donors read the New York Times. And no matter how much you can hit that, no matter how much you can hit that line over and over again and keep telling the donors no, I get knocked down and then I get up again, Jack, and you're never going to keep me down. No matter how much they try to fucking play off that narrative, remember the midterms? Remember the midterms when everybody said we were going to suck? And then because of Roe v. Wade and because of how fucking annoying the Republicans are and how unimaginably cruel the Republicans are, that most normies were ew, I'm grossed out by having a QAnon guy run for fucking governor of Pennsylvania, that they didn't find themselves voting for Republicans and the red wave turned into a red puddle. That wasn't because Biden is a fucking charismatic figure. And the craziest part is Biden took that and ran with it as though he was responsible for those dubs. By the way, congratulations to Turkey for defeating Austria. Okay? I got to do it for the one time, dude. Listen. It was July 17th, a hot summer, moving long into the fall until September 12th. The year was 1968. 1683. I'm sundowning. An expedition by the Ottomans against the Habsburg Holy Roman Emperor Leopold I resulted in their defeat by a combined force led by John III Sobieski of Poland. The lifting of the siege marked the beginning of the end of the Ottoman domination in Eastern Europe. The Ottoman army that arrived in late September had been depleted during the long advance into Austrian territory, leaving Suleiman short of camels and heavy artillery. Many of his troops arrived at Vienna in poor health after the tribulations of the long march through the worst of the wet season. both in 1529 and in the 1600s again. The Ottomans tried to take over Vienna, only to be stopped at the gates. This and the crescent shape that was so prominent in the flags of the Ottoman armies and the Ottoman forces is responsible for the invention of the croissant and many other crescent-shaped pastries, including the crescent-shaped pastry in Austria that you can get. I forget what it's called. However, while the Battle of Vienna took place until the 12th of September, 1683, with the Christian coalition, the Holy League of Poland, Lithuania, and the Holy Roman Empire, Habsburg monarchy, Bavaria, Saxony, Franconia, Swabia, Cossack, Hetmanate, and Wallachia, a secret belligerent. While the Ottomans were taken aback by this defeat, marking a new era for the Ottoman Empire, no longer dominating Europe. The Ottoman sons are back on this glorious day, July the 2nd, 2024. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, and everyone else. The Ottoman sons have taken their conquest to Europe once again. And in that glorious conquest, they have defeated the Austrian forces. No more, we say to the winged hussars. No more, we say to the Holy Roman Empire. No more. We have vanquished our foes. And Turkey has defeated Austria finally. Damn near 1,000 years later. Led by Arda Güler and the Janissary forces, the Turks came, the Turks saw, and the Turks conquered. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the keeper, the stop on the 94th minute is unavailable in my territory, so I can't watch it. Let's see if I can find it here. Hold on. Oh my god, it's so hard to fucking load these videos. What a save. What a fucking save. You said Turkey's acting like if they're in the Euros, they're going to get in the EU. Keep dreaming. Brother, it's no longer the European Union. It's the Ottoman Union. I don't think you understand. Okay? When you win the Euros, it is no longer the Euros. It is the Ottomanos. Okay? Just wait. All you motherfuckers talking about the sick man of Europe. The sick man of Europe. What will they do? Orientalizing the funny dudes with the fezzes who once had demonstrated military might and terrified the European barbarians with their superior technology and their superior warriors. You think, oh, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. You say, oh, we have Mesut Özil. You know, maybe we'll recruit some of their Janissaries and maybe we'll make them German, for example. It doesn't work that way. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. This has been a moment of Turkish nationalism with HasanAbi. Oh, here, by the way, Turkey has won a men's European Championship knockout game inside 90 minutes for their first time in their history. Their only other victory outside the group stages was a penalty shootout win versus Croatia in Euro 2008. Euro 2008 is the last time Turkey was in the championship knockout game. Netherlands is the next round. Yeah, Netherlands is cooked, dude. Don't make me play the music again. That loss is still shaking us Croats to this day due to the 122nd minute goal. What about the lira, though? Okay, some of you guys are hurtful. Some of you guys are just coping, and you're just being hurtful. And guess what, dude? I don't ever hear you motherfuckers say this about Argentina. Okay, they win a whole bunch of shit. Everybody's like Messi this, Messi that. Nobody's messing with the fucking Argentinian currency. Okay, what's up with that? How come nobody ever fucking talks about Argentinian currency when they're fucking dominating? But the moment that Turkey's dominating, it's like, oh, well, L on your currency. It's like, yeah, dude, let the people fucking breathe a little bit, you know? Let them have their moment in the spotlight. Yeah, they're running around. They're running around with rust scraps in their pockets. Anyway, footy fans bring up politics whenever they lose. I know. They don't even give a shit about politics for the most part. That's the funniest thing. Or football fans that do give a shit about politics are usually some of the most racist people you've ever met. Like, football fans that legitimately care about politics are almost always like fucking Nazis. Like, anyway, let's continue with this. Now that we had a brief moment of celebration, okay, for Turkey, for Turkey, okay, don't bring up the lira. Fuck you.
This president of the United States, nobody less than the former president, but Joe Biden, and so I trust his judgment. I think that, again, I'm not a doctor. I can't say what happens 3-4 years down the road. But I think that in my experience, which is what you asked me, I think that he will continue to be a great president of the United States.
Does he have to show the doubters right now that he can do an interview, he can do a news conference, a town hall meeting, that he has to do something off of the teleprompter? Absolutely, positively. You're so right. I think my recommendation to is for him to have some interviews with serious.
Her recommendation is that you subscribe at the top of the hour because a 3-minute ad break is coming for you. Okay? It don't matter how old you are. It don't matter what your background is. It don't matter what your approval rating is, because the reality is at the top of the hour, a 3-minute ad comes for you. Unless you subscribe for $5 or for free. Okay? Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Don't say I'm off my game, bitch. I'm tired. I'm sundowning. Call me Joe Brandon the way I'm fucking losing it, okay?
Serious journalist, you among them, a serious journalist, no holds barred, any questions fair, and just sit there and be Joe. Show your value, show your knowledge, show your judgment, show your empathy for the American people. And I think that would be a great thing for him. Not one, maybe two, a couple of those. I think that is essential. I think it is essential for them to do that. Your suggestion is exactly right.
And are you surprised he hasn't called the leaders?
Or a question. I don't know if it's a suggestion or a question, but in any event, right on point.
Are you a little surprised he hasn't called the leaders to reassure them? Or you?
I have a really good rapport with him. I wasn't expecting a call. I do communicate directly with his folks, and I know that he hears what I have to say. So I'm not one of those people over time that always had to say I have to speak to the president himself, nor do I expect the president to always say I have to speak to me. His people can speak to my people, and we get the message across. But let us again in this time of Patriot 4th of July. It's just my favorite civic holiday of the year. It's so exciting to celebrate what our founders did and what our men and women in uniform have done to protect all of that freedom, as we just observed in the invasion of Normandy. I was there and saw the president speak so brilliantly there. So, and again, about a more perfect union. And let us celebrate the anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, not try to
Bro, she's talking like she was there when it happened, dude. I swear to God. Nancy, Stop playing with him, Nancy. You're just as old, man. Aaron Rupar, remarkably thin gruel in the latest New York Times bombshell about Biden's aide. Mr. Biden once said, appeared quite sharp in the meetings and was well prepared. He articulated American views. He appeared on his game at a news conference with Mrs. Zelensky, but at one point, Mr. Biden appeared to wander off from the group of leaders to talk to paratroopers, and the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni came up behind him and gently brought him back. A clip of the event that went viral had been edited to make it appear Mr. Biden had just walked away. In fact, he was greeting a paratrooper, but the image suggested he needed guidance from his host. What's going to happen when Aaron Rupar, who is like posting this article from before this New York Times article, is met with the fact that the New York Times article is sourced not by fucking internet videos that we all saw, but instead by, you know, the actual fucking people that they went out that were there, that were in attendance, and quotes that they got from people that were there that were in attendance. Aaron Rupar is in the media. He used to work at Vox. Okay? He used to work at Vox. He knows that the New York Times doesn't just report on this shit by looking at fucking Twitter videos that the RNC, like, what is it? Like the RNC attack team or whatever, like some random Twitter accounts that work with the Republican Party, like when they fucking clip videos out of context, like the New York Times doesn't just look at that and go, oh, I guess this is the reality. Like, that's not what they're covering. They're not looking at the fucking war room. Thank you, chatter. That's the word I was looking for. Do you think the New York Times journalists are just fucking sitting around watching RNC war room compilations and basically, you know, doing coverage off of that? Are you fucking stupid? They're writing about the American president. They're not writing about Palestine. If they were writing about Palestine, they would do that. Okay? But when they're writing about the United States of America's motherfucking president, they're going to go and they're going to talk to people. They're going to go and they're going to talk to people that were in the room. They're going to go and they're going to talk to staffers of people that were in the room. You don't just like make articles like this off of watching the Republican War Room TikTok account or whatever, and then being like, oh, it seems like Biden is all over the place. Okay? Anyway, we already covered the Clyburn moment too, who he said, I will support Harris if Biden steps aside. That's a big deal. Here's the Tapper bombshell reporting. Here's the Tapper bombshell reporting on. Wait. Oh, this is not the Tapper bombshell. I thought this was the fake Tapper bombshell on the meeting that they had, the Democrats. But this ain't it.
Remarks tonight provided another data point for anyone trying to assess his physical and mental state from a distance. Tonight, though, after a weekend of calls for him to bow out of the race and sharp rebuttals from his supporters, we have some new reporting from Carl Bernstein, CNN political analyst and author and legendary journalist. So, Carl, according to the people you've been talking to, what are you hearing?
Well, these are people, several of them, who are very close to President Biden, who love him, have supported him, and been among them are some people who have raised a lot of money for him. And they are adamant that what we saw the other night, the Joe Biden we saw, is not a one-off, that there have been 15, 20 occasions in the last year and a half when the president has appeared somewhat as he did in that horror show that we witnessed. And what's so significant is the people that this is coming from, and also how many people around the president are aware of such incidents, including some reporters, incidentally, who have witnessed some of them. But here we see tonight, as these people say, President Biden at his absolute best.
This chatter is so funny. You just saw this guy and you went, I'm going to do the craziest shit with my hair when I'm old. Respect. I mean, he's doing it and he should. Look at him, bro. He's got like, I mean, there's a little bit of a comb over there, but like he's 80. So it's pretty fucking hot. Good for him. He's killing it. And you will too. I believe in you.
And yet these people who have supported him, loved him, campaigned for him, see him often, say that in the last 6 months particularly, there has been a marked incidence of cognitive decline and physical infirmity.
What I wonder about is the people who were, working with him at Camp David, allegedly in this intensive debate prep, if there were concerns there about this, and I don't know if you have got any word about that, but how anybody involved in that debate prep, I mean, didn't anybody see something was amiss?
The debate prep was supervised by Ron Klain. who has been with President Biden for many years. And people I've talked to have all been to Ron Klain in the last year to say we have a problem.
What I find funny is that they find other old people to say that Biden is not old, except now they found an old person to say he is old. So listen, they're hitting it on both sides. The one consistency here is they're not asking young people, okay? They're like, listen, we had a lot of people that are old saying Biden's actually not that old. I think it's time for an old person to say the opposite. So please, go ahead.
We have a problem such as we saw the other night, that there have been numerous instances where the president has lost his train of thought, can't pick it up again.
Bro, I by the way, again, random aside here, I know I'm your fucking news monkey and I should be like, you know, covering the news and nothing else, but I am 100 grams off my protein today. It is so, I can't stress this enough, okay? I am so used to my regular regimen where I train in the morning and then I fucking work out. I train in the morning and then I eat my protein. I eat 1.5 pounds of straight white chicken breast. And it's like, I never really considered how much chicken I was consuming until I got to an island where they just straight up don't have poultry. Okay. Like I'm constantly looking around trying to find chicken so I can eat just like straight grilled chicken. And honestly, for me, living in America, that level of poultry is so easy to fucking accumulate. I don't even think about it, right? Like I eat that every day. You should bring powder when you travel. No, that's why I brought like the most amount of protein snacks and supplements with me. But like, it is crazy to make up for that much protein that I just consume on a daily fucking basis without even considering it or without even ever thinking that it's like a lot. In order to make up for that, I have to eat an ungodly amount of protein supplements. Like I have to eat an entire meal that is just protein subs. It's crazy. I eat 230 grams of protein every day, normally, when I'm in America, when I'm home. Here, though, in Croatia, I can't even fucking hit like 200. It's sad. Do you still take finasteride? Yeah, I do.
There was a fundraiser at which he started at the podium, and then he became very stiff, according to the people there, as if it were almost a kind of rigor mortis.
This was reported allegedly in June of 2020.
This was June of, this was a year ago almost exactly, at the old Four Seasons restaurant on Park Avenue. And he became very stiff, and a chair had to be brought for him to do the latter part of the event. I think that what these folks are saying and have been saying for a while is, yes, he's great when we see him, as we have tonight, but he also has these inexplicable moments that we're very concerned about, and you, Ron Klain, and the First Family, we need to talk about this, and they've been pushed back repeatedly whenever it's been brought up.
And did your sources tell you about topics he's particularly engaged in, or are there?
Not only, and it's not just these same people. There is no question. I have heard for 2 years how sharp Joe Biden is in his national security meetings. He has special briefing books on Ukraine, on the situation in Gaza that go down into very detailed military reports. He has an absolute command of the facts. He's sharp as can be. You see the evidence of his being the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate, of his work as vice president on foreign relations. So we're clearly dealing with two sets of one person. And it really needs to be explored, according to the people I'm talking to. And I think an awful lot of major Democrats believe this, including some who have made statements to the contrary. But this is a problem that's not going to go away unless it's explicable. Does this mean doctors' reports? I mean, obviously it'd be great if we could have real doctors' reports from both candidates. Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Carl Bernstein, stay with us. I want to bring in CNN senior political commentator David Axelrod is back. CNN commentator, former Georgia Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan is with us as well. So is Ashley Etienne, who served as communications director for Vice President Harris. Also joining us, former Wisconsin governor, 2016 Republican presidential candidate Scott Walker. So, David, I mean, supporters of the president continue to say, look, it was a bad performance in a debate, which makes it sound like it was an anomaly. What Carl is reporting about is a number of incidents, according to the people he's talked to, which, I mean, is it just about a bad debate performance?
Well, I don't think that's the way the public viewed it, obviously. You look at polls and the numbers have further deteriorated as to whether people think he has the fitness to serve, I think down to 27% in a poll that was released by CBS on Sunday. So, the problem with his performance wasn't just that it was a very bad performance, but it was a bad performance that confirmed people's fears about his capabilities. And, the whole goal, I assume, of doing the debate was to dispel those concerns. And yet it ended up doing the opposite. And so, President Obama and other presidents have had bad debates. But it's only, the reason this is so damaging is because it goes to the main concern that people have. It's not about his decency. It's not about his identification with people. I don't think it's about his experience for sure. It's just about stamina and acuity. And on that particular night in front of that vast audience, he didn't display it.
Governor Walker, you're supporting Donald Trump. Do you think Joe Biden will be the Democratic candidate for president?
I do. I mean, I think I said long ago, I think Joe Biden, looking at his career, would gnaw his arm off before he gave up the presidency. Bottom line, he's seeking this for decades. And as many of your panelists have said in the past, it's really tough to make that change. Delegates are legally in many states obligated to vote for him, at least in the first round. There's all sorts of campaign finance issues. I think just as an American, not as a Republican, it was sad what we saw the other night. If it continues,
Scott Walker is who you get on the panel when Marco Rubio is not available. Marco Rubio is who you get on the panel when Ted Cruz is not available, and so on and so forth. Scott Walker is literally like I haven't thought about him in so long. Like, why the fuck? I mean, this is his peak of his career, okay? He's so stoked to be on this panel. He's like, oh, let's go, dude. This is like what Rick Santorum is like the one guy on the lineup after Scott Walker.
Continue to be sad and tragic. My advice for President Trump is going forward, don't draw attention to it. The American people can see it. Instead, talk about how you're going to do things that make their life better, more affordable, safer, more secure, and let the public see what they can see with their own eyes.
Ashley, I mean, you worked on Biden's 2020 campaign. You worked communications for Vice President Harris. The difference between Biden and 2020 debates and this last one is obvious. How can the president reassure people who watched him with pain and fear on that debate stage?
I mean, I think he actually did it on Friday. I think he actually doubled down on it tonight. But here's the narrative.
Those are teleprompters.
No, absolutely they are. But, he still looks strong and with it even on those teleprompters. And, there are times in which many elected officials, even former President Trump, has not looked strong on a teleprompter. But here's the thing that I think that is that's being lost. And I'd like to go back to what Ack said, and that is Trump also reinforced the negatives about him. He had none of the challenges that Joe Biden did, but still also underperformed. He didn't raise nearly as much money, $6 million short of what Joe Biden raised during the actual debate. Joe Biden's raised $33 million since that point. The push polls show that independents and new Nikki Haley voters didn't like his response to January 6th, didn't like the fact that he lacked substance and lacked a vision. In addition to that, they also felt like they couldn't trust Donald Trump. So he actually didn't do himself any favors either. And I think that's the narrative that's also being lost in all of this discussion about President Biden.
And Jeff, you're a Republican who's endorsed Biden. I'm wondering what you make of the defense that many top Democrats are making for him.
Well, there's no other way to call it than Thursday was an unmitigated disaster on so many fronts. And there's only one way to explain it. They're age-related issues. And these are conversations that happen all across America in homes with aging parents and grandparents, whether or not they should drive, whether or not they should handle their own finances. That inner circle has really got to deep dive and make sure they're giving them honest truths and understanding the gravity of this situation. But politically speaking, this 10% in the middle that, I certainly find myself in that will determine this next election outcome are 100% totally up for grabs again, trying to figure out how do we get through this Donald Trump disaster? How do we find somebody?
Yeah, people are like, hold on. I don't really know about this Joe Biden guy. People who are going, okay, I'll bite. Who's this Donald Trump figure you're talking about? I personally think it's not about the people who are undecided. I think it's about people who are uncommitted. People who have lost interest in voting for either party. Okay? That's the real issue. Like, this guy endorsed Biden, bro. You're not uncommitted. You're not in the middle. Like, you already made your choice. Fuck you mean?
Democrats have a very difficult job in front of them. They've either got to figure out a way to crisis management their way through Joe Biden's performance on Thursday, or they got to go figure out the messy, sloppy process of picking a candidate that's more centric. If they can get through that and get to convention and actually present somebody that's more moderate, game on. I think there's a huge chance to take Donald Trump and his circus and beat him.
Governor Walker, I'm wondering what you make of the, I don't know if it's hand-wringing or, freak out or real fear among Democrats about what they saw in Joe Biden on that debate stage. I mean, for Donald Trump, many of his top national security folks and former chief of staff and cabinet officials are not endorsing him again, and they have concerns about his fitness. How do you view how the Democrats are handling this?
Well, I mean, it's fitting. Before the segment started, you had the man who helped expose the cover-up of Watergate now talking about what many of us believe has been the cover-up, the state of mind of President Biden for the last couple of years, at least last year in particular. And I think that's the big fear out there. The American people saw firsthand in all the 3 elections I won statewide here in Wisconsin. I always said the most potent political arguments are the ones people inherently know to be true. The other challenge that I think he has and that President Trump, if he's going to win, has to capitalize is the economy, high prices. It's not only the #1 issue for everyday families. At Young America's Foundation, where I'm at, we just released a poll literally today, and amongst college students nationwide, the #1 issue is the economy. That's not a good issue for Joe Biden. And if Donald Trump can, again, stop attacking Biden and just start focusing on how he's going to help people get the economy going again, get prices down, get people back to work, he wins.
So apparently, folks, Joe Biden is not going anywhere, even as we learn shocking new details about his mental decline. The president huddling with his family over the weekend to do a photo shoot with Annie Leibovitz and to hash out what to do about the avalanche of calls to step aside. They reportedly urged him to stay in the race and want staffers fired for overloading Biden's brain before the debate. Jill and Hunter Biden are said to be the strongest voices in support of staying the course. The first son wants America to see that his father is, quote, scrappy.
Of course they're going to fucking make mincemeat out of the Hunter Biden mention here.
And in command of the facts rather than the stumbling, aging president Americans saw on Thursday night. And so far, top Democrats are willing to go to bat for him.
Yes, it was a bad performance. I know when I see what I call preparation overload.
I'm with Joe Biden, and it's our assignment to make sure that he gets over the finish line come November.
We both had a difficult debate, and yet we still managed to go on to win. One debate is not a career.
It is always a bad bet to bet against Joe Biden.
By the way,
I think he's the only Democrat who can beat Donald.
By the way, this level of copium, I'm going to keep repeating this. This level of cope, like, oh, they overloaded him with too much prep. Oh, he was like fucking traveling too much. That level of cope is like literally Donald Trump getting glazed on Fox News level copium. It's crazy.
Donald Trump.
But forget about making it to November. Can Biden even do the job now? White House aides are telling Axios that Joe Biden is dependably engaged from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. And after that, he checks out, prone to absent-minded gaffes and fatigue. But his campaign is doubling down in new ads.
I know how to tell the truth. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
And the First Lady is defending her husband in a glam new Vogue spread. She says the critics, quote, will not let those 90 minutes define the 4 years he's been president. We will continue to fight. First off, Greg, when your entire party is in meltdown mode, maybe you cancel the Annie Leibovitz family photo shoot?
No,
maybe?
that's too important. That's too important for these people. Dependably engaged. Does that mean he's wearing Depends? I have no idea what that means. And I just worry about the terrorists that are watching right now. It would be very rude for you guys to somehow attack us when he's not dependent.
Yeah, he was talking to the white supremacists. Like I know this is Greg Buttfeld's attempt at making a joke, but like, why would terrorists be watching your show, man? Like, the only type of terrorists that are watching your fucking bitch ass are literally the Proud Boys and shit. I don't know what to do with this fucking microphone. Oh my God, I'm so mad.
Engaged. So if you can call Canada beforehand, and then we'll get back. I'll just leave something on our voicemail, because I think it would be rude. You should refrain from attacking us when Joe is not dependably engaged. Remember, the media reacted in horror over Joe's condition, not because they saw it, it's because we saw it. I still think it's the worst scandal in political history. A party and a compliant media protecting a sham government run by a collection of progressive interests, and because they prefer that to democracy. It's just easier this way. And now they're shifting it back to like, well, Trump lies, Trump lies, Trump lies. There's no lie like this. It's not comparison. There's no comparison. And also, it pisses me off when I hear these journalists talking about how they were hoodwinked. This was like the most important job of your life. Breaking a huge story, and you let it go right past you. I mean, this is worse than Watergate. You know, CNN said that every single day. Well, here it is. And they chose Stormy Daniels over this. How can anybody trust the news anymore? I mean, you didn't trust it anyway, but now you know their alliances and their biases prevent them from basically lying.
Okay, I can't believe I'm about to say these words, and this does not pertain to mainstream media on their foreign policy coverage. But the glaringly obvious difference between New York Times and Fox News is precisely what they're pointing to. Fox News never has and never will shit on Donald Trump until Rupert Murdoch gives them the order to do so. New York Times, CNN, and all these other outlets, on the other hand, liberal outlets, on the other hand, will every now and then, perhaps on accident, especially as it pertains to domestic politics, will do like what you understand is objective news coverage. Not to say that they're great, and especially not great when we're talking about foreign policy, but that's a real situation, and you can see it.
Gaslighting 300 million people, and look at all the damage that has been done under Joe Biden. Open borders, crime waves, homelessness, open drug markets. This is all products of woke Marxism. So it all flourished under the hood of Biden's presidency. He was the hood ornament, shiny and useless, but meant to run cover for a radical agenda. That is why they're fighting so hard, because they would rather have a headless president and still be in control.
Well, the other thing about it, in addition to all that, is that the news that came out of the family meeting was that they were blaming the staff. And they made it very clear. I mean, somebody called the New York Times from Camp David and said, we blame the people who did the prep. My favorite takeaway, Judge, though, is that there was somebody in the family, one of the grandkids, wants to take on a more active role in the campaign, including working with social media influencers. Like, that's going to do it.
You know, first of all, the idea that they would blame the staff, I mean, think about it. Who else are they going to blame? They're not going to blame Joe or Jill. I mean, of course they're going to blame the staff. And I think it's interesting that Jen Psaki's response to that is, if you're directing anger at the prep for the debate, the aides, you're not addressing the right thing. Mm-hmm. She's got her priorities right. But, you know, the fact that all of those people that we heard from, you know, the senators, and they're basically saying, you know, this guy he's a great president. How can you promote a guy and be honest to your oath to the American people and the Constitution when you know that he is not engaged for more than 6 hours a day? When you actually saw that debate that we all saw, it's more than disingenuous. It is just un-American. This man, and Dana, I go back to what you said. This man has to be prepared at 3 in the morning to answer the question, what do we do now, sir? Okay? And he is not that man. He's not that man at 9 o'clock at night. We saw that. But you can't help but think that the reason the family is so into this is it's a dysfunctional family. 2 of these kids are drug addicts. Hunter Biden ends up sleeping with his dead brother's wife and hooks her on drugs. 9 of the Bidens have tens and hundreds of $1,000s in their accounts because of the work that Joe and Hunter did around the world. So, you know, politics is good business for these people. It's about them and not about us. Jill is so enamored with being the first lady, and every day you see her in these designer dresses, and today on the Vogue cover, a $5,000 Ralph Lauren dress. I mean, she's so into that. She spoke to Joe Biden, and she's the one who I blame this on. Like, after that debate that was cringeworthy and embarrassing, Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. It was like a kindergarten teacher with a bunch of 5-year-olds. And the fact that they're all gaslighting us, I think, is horrible. And I think that Joe Biden, and I say this in the best way that I can, he's a man who attained the top position in this country. He became president of the United States. He deserves, at this point, he loves the beach. He should be at the beach with his family, with his grandkids. But they don't want that. And don't let them tell you that it's about the country, because it's about them. And my last question, who's going to call for the 25th Amendment and who's running the country?
Well, they were supposed to have a cabinet meeting, but that got canceled. I can imagine why. So, Kevin, I have 100,000 questions for you, but I will only ask you a couple. One, the Wall Street Journal 2 weeks ago had a piece where they had 45 sources. Many of them were speaking anonymously, and maybe you don't like, maybe we all don't like that, you prefer them on the record, but you can understand why they didn't. And the reporters said, we stand by our story. Their editor said, we stand by our story. The White House and the campaign absolutely trashed the Wall Street Journal and these reporters. Yeah. Only then, a week later, to confirm to Axios that everything in it was true, but to add that the president's only dependably engaged from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I'm just curious about the communication strategy. And also, my other question for you is, it's like the Biden campaign and the people who are in power, Hakeem Jeffries, the people we saw there, are completely disconnected from the rest of the Democrats. Even the left-leaning editorial boards, like the New York Times, for example, saying Joe Biden needs to get out. What say you?
I say a few things. Number one, Dana, I think, you know, the president campaigned almost as being a transitional figure in the Democratic Party, right? He talked about the next bench of Democrats coming up, Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro, others. And I think he views Donald Trump as an existential threat to this country. And he believes that he is uniquely situated as the incumbent, as the guy that defeated him 3.5 years ago, as uniquely qualified to do it again. And when you saw the initial impulse was...
That's not a Chiron you want to see. Biden's brain only works 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's not a good Chiron, man.
Maybe to step aside after 4 years and pass the torch. I don't know if Donald Trump wasn't the Republican nominee and leading in the polls, if Joe Biden would be running for a second term, in all seriousness.
Anyway, Lars Buttfeld dressed like a toddler. His girlfriend dressed him. That's why. Are you that much better, though, than Buttfeld? Yes. Are you kidding me? First of all, look at what I'm currently wearing. Like, literally. Are you really going to make a comparison? Like, are you crazy? This microphone is so fucked up. It's definitely seen better days.
Number two, the campaign infrastructure is built around Joe Biden. He's raised a record sum of funds, 1,000 field officials, 200 or so field offices open in these battleground states. It's like a cruise ship that Joey was just on. It's so hard to change that midstream. And Dana, you raised the point on Friday, if not Joe Biden, then who? And that alternative might not be in a better position than Joe Biden come November.
Okay, so a couple of things that happened today. Politico buried the lead this morning. They had a story about Governor Gretchen Whitmer calling the campaign to say, hey, guys, I'm not the one out there promoting my name. I'm not trying to do that. Oh, and by the way, the debate performance guarantees that he cannot win Michigan. Like, well, that was Biden's only path to 270 is if he keeps Michigan. And then in addition, we just got a poll a couple of hours ago that New Hampshire, which Biden won, is now, Trump is up 44-42, and that's consistent over the past 2 months. So how are they thinking that everything's fine and that everyone's just going to move on .org and let this carry on?
I don't think they think it's fine. But like you said, if not Biden, then...
Bro, you can't be talking about how people are coping when you got that hairline. That is a crazy thing, dude. Bro, let it go. Let it go. You're like a relatively handsome guy. Let it go. I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. I don't know who you think you're fooling with this shit. MoveOn.org with this thing, dude. What the fuck is going on here?
And I thought about that myself. And there may be a name that I'm completely overlooking here, but I mean, Gavin Newsom, I guess, is the guy who's campaigned for it. He's got a sex scandal of his own that was very public, and he's also the governor of California, so he loses on immigration and economy. So I don't see Gavin Newsom really doing anything to hurt Trump.
Why would he lose on immigration? Does Greg Abbott lose on immigration? What are you talking about? What is the difference between Greg Abbott and Gavin Newsom? One is infinitely more competent when dealing with undocumented migrants. That's the difference. But of course, to Fox News, it's a burden. That's what's really frustrating about Gavin Newsom is that, like, there are a lot of things that you can hit him on. Okay? Homelessness being one of the most significant parts of the conversation. Okay? Born out of the unimaginably fucked up housing market conditions. And Gavin Newsom's direct inability to deal with the problem, deal with the crisis, despite the fact that people keep fucking voting for it over and over again to fix the problem. Those are real issues. Yeah, Gavin Newsom vetoes all labor law. Gavin Newsom vetoes like Medicare for all. Gavin Newsom is, you know, he's not the best by any metric. But it is so fucking insane to be like, yeah, Gavin Newsom, he's weak on immigration. It's like, really? Why? Because he can deal with it? Because he knows that it's not like a real problem, despite having the largest fucking border? Like, what are we talking about? One of the largest border crossings in the nation, by the way. Southern California. Like, what are we talking about? It's massive. So why is it that California doesn't constantly fucking chirp in the same way that Texas does? This should help you understand that this is purely political. Okay? That's it. It's pure politics. And this fucking piece of shit turning around and being like, oh yeah, he's really weak on the border. Like, that's so stupid. Why? Because he doesn't chirp about it nonstop like Greg Abbott does? It's ridiculous.
Trump has an established lead. Kamala, nope. Michelle doesn't want it. She's living a rock star lifestyle. Why would they want to go back to the White House and be kind of almost poor again? Why would they want that? Whitmer, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people in Michigan. I don't know a lot of liberals in Michigan. They're not happy on her. Maybe Jeffries. Maybe Hakeem Jeffries is a...
What do you mean? Ew, Hakeem Jeffries? What? No. He said he doesn't know a lot of people in Michigan, and then he said, I don't know a lot of liberals in Michigan, but they're not happy with her. Gretchen Whitmer is like pretty fucking popular in her state. That's kind of stupid. You just kind of pulled that out of your ass, honestly. Like, this is my favorite type of fucking Fox News commentator who's just like, I don't really know enough about Michigan nor Gretchen Whitmer, but honestly, like, she's not very popular. You just made that up. It is the opposite. Not that it matters, because, you're on a fucking Fox News panel. You can just lie about anything you want.
Or they could throw in there. But
Arabs hate her? Yeah, I don't even know about that. Let's be real. Maybe Dearborn now is sour on her, but like Gretchen Whitmer literally in the immediate aftermath of October 7 was like, well, bipartisanship is important. Both sides. At a time when no one was saying shit like that, she was saying that. Not great on Israel. Yeah, she is, as far as the Democratic Party goes, obviously she's no Rashida Tlaib. She's no Ilhan Omar. She's no AOC. But in terms of like the Democratic Party establishment characters, like, she is even keeled. My expectation is never that she's going to be, based and Palestine pilled.
But it all comes down to this. Joe Biden is he's not going to impress voters enough to win over swing voters. He's not going to impress Democrats enough to rally the troops. Their campaign strategy from day one was for President Trump to self-destruct and be the version of himself he was in January of 2020 that they felt like they could run against. And President Trump showed up to the debate and in almost a boring way took all that away. And that's why they're scared. They're not scared because President Biden stood up there and said, my son died in Iraq. He's told that lie 10 times. To hell with the rest of us that fought in those wars.
Damn. He said, you got a phony ass. He said, you got a fake ass dead veteran son. That's crazy. He's like, bro, burn pits. I was huffing on that shit myself. Let me tell you, I was huffing on them burn pits. I didn't die. L lungs. That's what he said. That's not me. He said that about Beau Biden. He said, L, take the L lungs. Skill issue. I was eating them tires sometimes.
If I go fall down and get killed by a Prius right now because I have prosthetic legs, I didn't die in Afghanistan. I didn't die because of war. I died because something bad happened to me, which is why his son died. And I hate that.
Wait, what? Did he lose his legs in a Prius accident? Wait, what?
They're not scared because President Biden stood up there and said,
what?
My wars. If I go fall down and get killed by a Prius right now because I have prosthetic legs, I didn't die in Afghanistan. I didn't die because of war. I died.
Brother, what are you talking about? What leap of logic, bro? Yeah, the burn pits gave him lung cancer. Like, that is literally officially. Dude, I want to ask this guy, what would he say about first responders? Would you not say that first responders that died due to lung cancer, and other like types of complications post 9/11 were like, you know, diseases related to 9/11? You'd say that like they died because of 9/11? What is he saying? Would he shit on them too? Would he be like, yeah, listen, I know you're a firefighter, okay? I know you worked on 9/11. I know that you got lung cancer, but you better not say you got lung cancer because of 9/11. You better not. And if you die, I'll spit on your grave. He's saying that if he gets hit by a Prius and can't run away because he has prosthetic legs, it's not because of the war he lost his legs in. Yeah, except that is not analogous because the motherfucker had cancer, bro. Directly related, as far as I understand, to the fucking burn pits. It's not like he just like randomly got cancer, and a shit ton of veterans have also gotten cancer. What the fuck's he talking about? It's an incredibly idiotic analogy. No, the point he's making is that like his cancer is irrelevant to the Iraq war, and therefore Biden should never bring up the Iraq war when talking about Beau Biden, which is ridiculous. I hate Hunter Biden. I mean, not Hunter Biden. I love Hunter Biden. I hate Joe Biden. Okay? I hate Joe Biden, but it is not that fucking crazy for him to constantly tug on the heartstrings of that shit, because it did happen. His son fucking literally died. Like, what are you talking about? And shit ton of veterans also got cancer due to the fucking burn pits. Like, yeah, your disabilities are not service related is like, yeah, you're right. It's literally a fucking meme. So why is he assuming the stance of like the VA here? That's pretty crazy. And he's like, not 100% coverage for you. Let me tell you, Bo. Okay. It would be, I think it would be, I guess like more of a fucking, like it would be a better take if it wasn't such a contested issue that like recently, veterans got gains for. Okay. This is a stupid take. Move on, please. Also, he's one of the few political sons to join the military. Yeah. Still fucking virtue signaling even on a remote island. Broadcast can't even get a decent mic stand. Fuck you, bitch. I know you're trying to serve the top of the hour ad break Jabay right now, but respect. That was pretty good. Virtue signaling. He cooked my ass, dude. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ban you though, because that's a fucking two-parter. Okay. Rules are rules. Hater ass messages or not. Virtue signaling. I haven't heard that in a minute. What's a two-parter mean? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. Sometimes chatters try to get me to read their messages so they can make me, so they can fucking turn around and bait me into reading their messages so they can be like, oh, 3-minute ad break, gotcha. So they can serve the 3-minute ad break instead. Now, of course, this doesn't always work. Sometimes chatters do two-parters like that one, trying to piss me off. Get me to read their message so they can, when I click on them like this, they can go, oh, top of the hour ad break. Those are two-parters. Instead of hitting me with a fucking debate in the singular message and trying to get me to read it, they try to hit me with a two-parter. Like they say, bad take, I click on it, and then they turn around and go, ad break. That type of shit. Anyway, here's the 3-minute ad break now. Take an hour off. The only reason why I'm banning bad baiters, because I want you to be better. Okay? R.I.P. to Tree Moss. Gone but not forgotten.
Because something bad happened to me, which is why his son died, and I hate that for him. But when he's willing to tell lies like that in a campaign debate that is for his career, that means he's either not with it or completely thinks the rest of us are stupid.
I don't have the heart to ban two-parters for a week, dude.
Maybe it's a little bit of both, but he's not going to get elected that way.
Can I ask you one last question about these
These terrorists?
There's threats that are announced that against U.S. bases in Europe, and you have this comes a day after the White House on background tells, or maybe the campaign aides, tells a major news organization that he's only dependably engaged between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to fact check it, but I saw right before I came on, someone tweeted that the Abbey Gate bombing happened at 9:30 a.m.
It did. It was on America's Newsroom.
Okay, so 9:30 a.m., the worst attack in the last 2 presidencies on our troops. Maybe it should have happened a half an hour later, and he would have been able to do something. That's what bothers me about this. You can't wake him up in the middle of the night and get enough meds in him to get a decision out of him. So whoever the second and third shift president is, I hope you're watching and paying attention in case we are attacked.
Dana, can I just add to that? When we're talking about Joe's fitness, we're talking about the election. That's 5 months away.
Right,
He's unfit to be president now.
And they want us to move on.org.
Yes.
Oh my God. She loves that joke. She loves that joke. She's like, they want us to move on.org. Anyway, we covered the Supreme Court thing already. And then there's the far right and stuff. But, oh man, let's see. Sounds like it's 10 a.m. in Washington, sweaty. All right, let's continue. At the top of the hour, Jabez get 1 hour. What do poop sockers get? I ban poop sockers. Like, I don't give a fuck. I ban poop sockers. I ban poop sockers unconditionally. You know this already. Don't come at me with that shit. Don't come at me with that weak shit. I will cook you. Okay? I hate that shit. Biden's debate performance wasn't that bad. Neither of his corneas even turned red once. You're right.
So with this, that landmark Supreme Court decision, you've heard about it, which redefined the power of the office of the president. Now, the court ruled that the official acts of sitting presidents are immune to criminal prosecution even after they leave office. Now, you should know there is no precedent for a decision like this because until now, we've never had a former president who has faced criminal charges like Donald Trump. So what does this mean for Trump's legal cases and for the presidency itself? We'll try to answer.
Dude, shut the fuck up. I'm not going to do tomorrow's teachings literally like on a fucking Tuesday afternoon, LA time. Okay? Are you on crack? Listen, chatter, I love tomorrow's teachings, but like, I'm not going to fucking sit here and watch like funny haha react videos. I'm trying to cover as much politics as possible, as much as I can cover politics. Okay? That's my goal is to literally use my time wisely. Like, because I can't do 8-hour streams out here. Wow, you're acting like tomorrow's teachings Tuesdays aren't even a thing. You've changed, man. Fucked up. True.
So this will explain what the decision actually said. Jan Crawford at the Supreme Court is going to help us with that first part of the question. Jan, good morning. Some people are interpreting this to mean that the president is above the law. What do you say? What can you tell us?
Not exactly, by any means. I mean, this ruling basically sends the case back to a lower court to decide which acts of former President Trump are unofficial and can still be criminally prosecuted. But that could take time. It's very hard to see how this trial will start before November's elections.
In an historic decision, the Supreme Court ruled for the first time that former presidents have some immunity from prosecution. Though Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, said not everything the president does is official. The president is not above the law, noting a president's unofficial acts could be prosecuted, possibly including those made as a candidate or party leader.
You have to give a president full and total immunity.
The court rejected former President Donald Trump's sweeping claims he was absolutely immune from prosecution for his actions around January.
Yeah, totally. Thank God they did that. Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it.
6. But it said presidents must have some immunity to execute the duties of his office fearlessly and fairly.
Bro, that's crazy. They literally said as long as something is an official presidential act, it is literally immune to prosecution. Like that's insane. That is an insane take. That it doesn't matter if something is illegal as long as it's an official presidential act. It is immune to prosecution. Okay, they literally basically did the fucking total immunity shit. They did total immunity as long as it's official presidential acts. It's like, okay, who makes the distinction? Oh, we do. We make the distinction between an official presidential act versus a non-presidential act.
And so official acts are largely shielded from prosecution. The 6-3 decision sharply divided the justices along ideological lines. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote a fiery dissent for the liberals, expressing her fear for our democracy and saying the decision makes the president now a king above the law. That prompted an unusually fierce response from Roberts, accusing the dissent of fear-mongering on the basis of extreme hypotheticals. The court emphasized the lasting significance of its...
Why is that an extreme hypothetical? Are you willing to fucking put your name out there to be like, that's not considered a presidential act? No. So why is it a hypothetical? Why is it simply an extreme hypothetical and not a very reasonable one? The president is fucking commander-in-chief. It is precisely the reason why you can't make these fucking broad sweeping claims. Like, he has the power over the fucking armed forces, dude. That is literally a part of his official responsibilities. What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? That is not an extreme hypothetical at all. That is just the reality.
Decision well
also, it is
beyond...
pretty funny for Roberts to chirp at fucking Sotomayor or whatever when, like, you know, Antonin Scalia compared gay marriage to men marrying dogs. Okay? Like, Antonin Scalia in his dissent openly fucking compared gay marriage using the age-old slippery slope argument that, like, if man can marry man, then what's next? Will man marry dog? Will man marry child? I don't actually think he put the child thing in there because that's a given for the Republican Party. But, like, literally compared it to fucking bestiality. So what do you mean extreme hypotheticals?
Trump, noting concerns about opening a Pandora's box of criminal prosecutions of former presidents. Trump hailed the court's ruling, writing the decision was a big win for our Constitution and democracy, while President Biden spoke out last night, siding with the dissent.
No, that's Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas is the one into bestiality. Antonin Scalia, as far as we know, was not into bestiality, but he was a fucking beast.
And it's a dangerous precedent because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law.
Is dead.
But the High Court's decision does allow Special Counsel Jack Smith to prosecute Trump for private acts, and deciding what those are now falls to Judge Tanya Chutkan, who is overseeing the federal election interference case.
This is not the end of the prosecution of Donald Trump. I strongly suspect that Jack Smith will find allegations that he thinks survive, and Judge Chutkan, more importantly, will find allegations that she thinks survive.
Now, last night, Trump's legal team did send a letter.
Yeah, it's great. Now they can appeal it again on the basis of whether or not this is an official presidential act or not, or a simply private matter, and take that all the way up to the Supreme Court, which they openly said they would take on, by the way. Like, they literally were like, yeah, if you want to have us decide on what is presidential and what's a private matter, we can do that too. We're not going to do that now, but we can do that in the future, which is great. That's cool.
Citing the decision and asking the judge in his New York hush money trial to overturn his criminal conviction. That is a stretch, to say the least. It seems perhaps more an effort to delay his sentencing, which is now set for July 11th. Tony?
Jan, got it very much. Thank you very much.
The presidency is the most powerful office in the world. It's an office that not only tests your judgment, perhaps even more importantly, it's an office that tests your character. Because you not only face moments when you need the courage to exercise the full power of the presidency, you also face moments where you need the wisdom to respect the limits of the power of the office of the presidency. This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. With today's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity, that fundamentally changed. For all practical purposes, today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent, because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States. The only limits will be self-imposed by the president alone. This decision today has continued the court's attack in recent years on a wide range of long-established legal principles in our nation, from gutting voting rights and civil rights, to taking away a woman's right to choose, to today's decision that undermines the rule of law of this nation. Nearly 4 years ago, my predecessor sent a violent mob to the U.S. Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power. We all saw it with our own eyes. We sat there and watched it happen that day. Attack on the police, the ransacking of the Capitol, a mob literally hunting down the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, gallows erected to hang the Vice President, Mike Pence. I think it's fair to say it's one of the darkest days in the history of America. Now the man who sent that mob to the U.S. Capitol is facing potential criminal conviction for what happened that day. And the American people deserve to have an answer in the courts before the upcoming election. The public has a right to know the answer about what happened on January 6th before they are asked to vote again this year. Now, because of today's decision, that is highly, highly unlikely. It's a terrible disservice to the people of this nation. So now the American people have to do what the courts should have been willing to do, but will not.
I mean, this is a good speech overall. I just can't get over his fucking fake Trump-style orange tan. I can't get over that. I can't get over the fact that he's just got this biggest gift, dude. Start murking political opponents, big dog. What are we doing here? Put him in jail illegally. As an official presidential act, if you truly believe that Donald Trump represents this genuine fascist threat to American democracy, it is well within your purview to do an official presidential act, okay, and you know, deal with it. It is within your official presidential act. It is as an official presidential act, you should conspire to deal with the U.S. Supreme Court justices, for example, officially speaking, officially and presidentially. Just saying.
People have to render a judgment about Donald Trump's behavior. The American people must decide whether Donald Trump's assault on our democracy on January 6th makes him unfit for public office in the highest office in the land. The American people must decide if Trump's embrace of violence to preserve his power is acceptable. Perhaps most importantly, the American people must decide if they want to entrust the president once again, the presidency, to Donald Trump, now knowing he'll be even more emboldened to do whatever he pleases whenever he wants to do it. You know, at the outset of our nation, it was the character of George Washington, our first president, to define the presidency. He believed power was limited, not absolute, and that power always resides with the people, always. Now, over 200 years later, with today's Supreme Court decision, once again, it'll depend on the character of the men and women who hold that presidency that are going to define the limits of the power of the presidency, because the law will no longer do it.
No, it's like, yeah, the law fucked up, which is why it's up to the voters to make sure that someone of high moral character becomes president so they don't abuse it. Sure would suck if somebody would abuse that. And it's like, dude, come on. Trump was president, man. Trump was fucking president. Americans don't give a shit about a crook and a con man.
Do it. I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years, but any president, including Donald Trump, will now be free to ignore the law. I concur with Justice Sotomayor's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law. With fear for our democracy, I dissent. End of quote. So should the American people dissent. I dissent.
Yeah. Dissent
May God bless you all.
by fucking voting. Dissent by voting. Vote, please.
All, and may God help preserve our democracy. Thank you. And may God protect our troops.
Anyway. All right, let's hear what the analysis
For more on this,
is.
let's go to our chief political analyst, John Dickerson, and CBS News legal analyst, Ricky Kleeman. Good morning.
Bro, I'm so fucking thirsty, and I'm just eyeballing that. I'm just eyeballing that bottle full of tap water, and I'm like, I don't know if I should have it. I don't know if I should have that shit. But I fucking want it, dude. I might just drink this stuff in the kettle.
Morning to both of you. We're going to talk to you, John, in a moment about the presidency and what this means. But first, the legal cases that Trump is facing. What now, Ricky?
Well, Jan just mentioned New York looking to stop the conviction, to overturn it and not be sentenced is ridiculous. So let's look at the January 6th case. The January 6th case is the case that went up to the Supreme Court. What is going to happen here is a matter of procedure. It is going to get kicked back down to the district court. That's Judge Tanya Chutkan. Judge Chutkan is going to have a hearing on every act that is in this indictment. Keep in mind, this indictment is 45 pages. It has 128 paragraphs in it. And of them, 123 are acts. So what Judge Chutkan is going to do is go one by one after they brief the issue for her and hear arguments, and she's going to make a decision and say, well, this act is
Some of
not
the cleanest water.
official.
I'm on the islands, dude. I'm not in Dubrovnik. I'm not in fucking mainland Croatia. I'm on a fucking random ass island, so I don't know if it's like that's the difference. I wouldn't give a shit about it.
This act is private. And there, I will say, I think without fear of contradiction, understanding Judge Chutkan, who is prompt, who is precise, who is smart, and found that there was absolutely no immunity, that about 95% of this case, she is going to say is ready for trial.
That 5% is a big deal, right? So a key part of the interference allegations, and I think a disturbing aspect of the Supreme Court ruling for a lot of people, is that Donald Trump's efforts to pressure his vice president not to certify the election will be an official act and therefore not prosecutable.
No, wrong. It's the Justice Department conversations. They are definitely not prosecutable. The question of the conversations with Mike Pence to stop the certification, they may be presumptively official, but I would still think Judge Chutkan will find that the government can overcome the presumption, and they're going forward. What's the problem here is delay, because they're all going to be appealed.
John, can you put this in perspective about what it means historically? Because many people are sitting here thinking the guardrails have now come off. What does this mean?
So we have to separate it
picture.
in a few different ways. There's the office of the presidency. Forget who's in the office. There have been debates about the power of the president and the executive and what kinds of powers the executive needs to act with dispatch. Those arguments were going on pretty much right after they finished the Constitution 234 years ago in that hot summer in Philadelphia. In that regard, this basically gives more power to the presidency, but that's a kind of an abstract debate about the presidency. What does it mean with respect to Donald Trump? Well, it means what Ricky was just talking about. There are specific ways in which it'll affect this case about his participation in January 6th. But then there's the third part, which is the biofeedback. How is he going to receive this news? And if he is to be elected again, how's he going to operationalize it? We've seen him already claim that this gets him out of the New York case, which is a stretch and a ridiculous reading of the Supreme Court. But if he's president, he's likely to read this ruling as a kind of all guardrails are off. And why do we think that? Three reasons. One, we have the testimony of his former officials who said much of our time was spent telling him you can't do that, it's illegal. He's likely to think, you know what, I know how to get around this. The second thing is when presidents are given power, they rarely say, you know what, I'm not going to use it. And the third thing is if you believe in politics, that if you have the power, you can do what you want, well, he's likely, and those who support him are likely to read this.
Is this streamer a liberal? Absolutely not, brother. How dare you? My God, King Donald Trump, I love him, and I love you if you love Trump. If you hate him, then fuck you.
Ruling as saying,
MAGA.
if you have the power and it's part of your job,
baby.
then go ahead and do what you want.
But John, he has said this even
You think some pussy-ass libtard would go to the gym and work out and eat protein? You know that shit's illegal, okay? Clearly, I'm not some goddamn libtard, brother. That's right. Fuck out of here. They don't actually say MAGA? Wait, why not? Okay, here, I got it. I want to fucking suck Joe Brandon. Yum. His cummies. I see them t-shirts all the time. People are saying, I want to have sex with Joe Biden. That's what they're saying on them t-shirts. Me too, brother. Me too. I want to fuck him. Hell yeah, fuck Joe Brandon. I want to have sexual intercourse with Joseph Robinette Brandon. Yeah, MAGA.
Before the ruling. So how should that he has the power, how should voters process this?
They should, and I'll go back to what I've been talking about for years, they should think of this as an office that requires the occupant to have a certain level of character. Because when you're given extreme power, it comes down to you and your character and whether you will use that power wisely and in a restrained fashion in the job. And that goes to not just these questions that are a part of this ruling, but more broadly in the job. Character means two things. One, do you care about people other than your base? Because you're president of the whole country. And what that means is, are you going to do things that are going to help the most number of people? And the second part of character means, do you recognize there are long-term consequences for your behavior? It's not just what's going to help you and what's going to help you in the short term, but that you are in a job that requires that you think about the future. And putting character back in focus on the job is a good thing for an election, and it's what everybody should be talking about.
Yeah, well, given the ruling, the convictions, the upcoming election, this is very layered. Thank you for breaking it up.
Yeah, super layered. All right, listen, chat, it's been 5 hours, okay? I'm tired as fuck. It's actually 12 over here, 12 a.m. I love you all. I wanted to give you guys some hot, juicy 5 hours of political commentary. Tomorrow there is a all hands on deck meeting. Tomorrow's teachings. Tomorrow, probably not. Anyway, I have a bedtime. I need to take a nap. I'm just like Joe Brandon, chat. I need to take a nap in the middle of the day. Just kidding. It's actually 12 here. Okay. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. So anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna get on the boat tomorrow. I'm gonna boat a little bit. I'm gonna boat all day. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep more tomorrow morning. Then I can go harder, longer, faster later tomorrow. But for the day, that's what we got. Peace, everybody. Once again, I'll be starting at 7 p.m. my time, as in 10 a.m. Starting an hour early, as you guys know. I've been really liking that. So, love you all. Peace.
Uncle Uger's face, sat in Discord at your prop. Great names take on break. Tiny Bernie Sanders, LGBTQ Air Force. The whole left at your fingertips, Ane at your door. H3 crowded debate, the Young Turks online show. 3 full fucking years of this, plenty more to go. 90-day fiance, talks of champagne bourgeoisie. A Trump rally live reaction, a mass riot at DC. There he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming. There he is again.